Welcome back to Yamcha Sessions, guys. Today we will be having MJ Ganny. I mean, his name is Gun or MJ, and he'll be on our podcast discussing stocks and finance. Before I get into him, I want to talk about our sponsors for the podcast. Our first sponsor is by Couch the Worm. So, Couch the Worm is a haiku Twitter account. You can follow them at Elias Couch the Worm, CouchTheWorm. So if you know what a haiku is, it's basically 5, 7, and 5. I'm going to read an example from Couch the Worm. Podcast, radio, glorious advertising, connect with the world. So that's a haiku by Couch the Worm. Follow them on Twitter because they sponsor the podcast, and you would do us a favor because more people would sponsor the podcast. Our second sponsor is by Juicy. So Juicy Treats are a homemade pet treat company. They are 100% human grade and 100% homemade pet food. So follow Juicy on Instagram, JUCY_treats, and message them YCS, short for Yamcha Sessions, for a 10% discount today. So the offer ends last day of August 2020. So support Juicy, support Couch the Worm. Couch the Worm's on Twitter, Juicy is on Instagram. Today we'll be having MJ. So MJ is from, he's got a kind of like a finance background. It's a very unique case. Lovely guest to have on. Definitely we'll have a part 2 one day. Thank you so much, Bradley, for referring MJ to us. Blessing for sure. I think he will teach you a lot of ins and outs of stock investment and finance that a lot of us, like myself, I'm a complete dunce when it comes to finance. I'm damn scared when it comes to investing. But I think he's really opened up my eyes, and I think Boyge and Andrew as well, on what it's like to invest and the pros behind it and the hurdles that you would have to overcome. So I think you all find it very interesting. You all learned a lot about it. So hope you all enjoyed the podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you really like the video. I mean, if you don't like, then you can dislike. That's why dislike button's there. But yeah, enjoy the podcast and let me know what you guys think. I think it's one of the most informative things we've ever recorded. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, and hopefully Andrew and Boyge.
Hey, what's that? Nitro Tech?
No, pretty basic. Chocolate.
No, got creatine inside.
Fake Milo. No.
Fake no creatine. Why? You're missing out, brother.
I know, but I don't. Personally, I don't feel the difference. Maybe I need to do it again.
There is different. You should take with creatine.
Huh?
Yeah,
I used to take. But it's so weird when you add like chocolate and then.
You don't add the creatine, you just take the one already have inside.
Oh, corner.
There are some. It's only around 160.
I thought creatine is prior and protein is after.
No,
You can mix.
Doesn't matter. Right?
doesn't matter. It's the same. It's
I
just
know it helps with performance. That's why.
It helps a lot.
Really, huh?
Serious. It helps a lot. I bought one with creatine for one of my gym buddy right now at gym. He became more cutter and his chest actually growing because the wife told him, "You go gym, never change." Then he straight come to me, "Bro, help me."
I feel like that's my problem
Dude,
also.
that wife is a fucking savage, bro.
But the wife is fucking hot.
Okay, lah.
Oh.
Yeah. serious. I've seen the wife.
That answers some of my questions.
The wife fucking hot. The wife walk. The wife boobs, and she ain't afraid to show it, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She ain't afraid to show it. She damn hot, bro. The wife.
I will be motivated.
I'm motivated, bro.
But
Sometimes
you say the same kind of things every time.
I think
If
she's
they're married, it's not a question of motivation. It's a question.
bro,
of
she don't even
insecurity.
look married, bro. But she's married, lah. She hot like fuck, bro. Then she
Got
tells
children?
no children yet.
Oh. Okay lah.
Legit, bro. The wife. So the wife told it to the husband, and the husband came to me, bro. Help me.
But is he ripped as fuck now?
Better.
Oh. Okay lah.
Yeah, I should be.
You should take the one with creatine. Really helps.
I usually buy the separate one and then I'll just add
You add what, 2 or
one.
one? It's because the
You
creatine
need
one
a
is
bit
quite
name.
small, though. The
Mine's powder though.
the powder.
It's portion only
the
lah.
portion
The portion
lah.
is
But
small.
creatine, they advise you to take a lot of creatine actually and take in a separate.
Yeah.
If you take the creatine separately, you must take morning, afternoon, and night as well.
Oh, that one I don't.
Fuck that shit. You just take the one after your gym.
Right.
Nitro Tech, just take.
You should consider doing PT. But isn't Bradley a PT?
Where is the PT?
No,
Bradley,
isn't he your
Brad-
PT?
No.
Bradley's your PT, bro.
Should be lah.
We got
Bradley should be
we got
everybody's
Brian.
PT.
We got fit Brian, bro.
No,
Yeah.
Bradley,
Wow.
you see Bradley. Hey.
No, you guys have never met Bradley before.
I've seen Bradley. I've met
He's
Yeah.
coming on the podcast.
When?
Yeah,
He's coming on the podcast.
Hey, by the way, I asked him, is he doing? Are you gonna ask him to do it topless?
Top what? Topless. Oh.
I don't mind. I don't mind.
I will make
I've
sure
trained well enough for
Then
this
Andrew
day.
and I look like fat fucks.
I think John and I should just sit out of it and then maybe
just
Bradley
for them
can-
lah.
Yeah,
What
lah.
the fuck?
Yeah, okay, then I support this endeavor.
I'm ready, bro. I'm alive with this, man.
I was never prepared for this. We're rolling already, right?
Yeah, we're
Oh,
rolling.
fantastic. That will totally be
I'm
included.
just waiting for the day when a client messaged me like, hey, I need an MC who's willing to go topless for a show.
Didn't you do that for Phuket or some shit like that?
No, they asked me to wear singlet after that.
Oh. So you definitely tried though, right?
I
you
will
tried.
straight away say I am honest, bro. I paid you.
You will pay the event organizer
Wow.
to do the event
Honest for
topless.
that shit, bro.
I suppose it's an investment of sorts. Which brings us to today's podcast.
Oh.
Say we are live,
Good
I
segue.
didn't know.
Good segue.
You gotta cut that shit, man.
Why?
I'm not paying people.
Just censor it lah.
Please.
No.
I still remember I called
You lose the essence of the
Samsora.
podcast, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
the whole
Sephora.
point of it is
Sephora.
unedited shit.
Yeah.
Is the beauty.
Hey,
of
we are
it.
live, right?
Yeah, we're live. Right? Oh, okay. Alright. Welcome back to Yamcha Sessions, guys. Today we have the one and only MJ Gun, right? Ganny.
Do I look there?
You can look at all
look at
three.
us. Just look at us.
Okay,
No,
Yeah.
no, camera.
So you're not used to.
Actually, I was referred to MJ by Bradley.
Yeah, right. Shout out to Bradley.
Who's Bradley?
Bradley is the guy that is going to come
Bradley
podcast.
is the person we all wish.
Never mind. We what? We all
we
wait,
cannot.
we all wish
100%
what?
facts, man.
Wait, wish what? Wish what? We all wish.
We all wish we could be.
Why?
We all wish we
Because
could be.
Bradley is beautiful.
Yeah.
No.
Bro, that's
no,
so
sorry.
fucking gay.
No,
No, it's not. That's not it.
It's okay. We put
So-
Bradley aside. We want to be like you today. Be
Okay,
like
can-
MJ.
Okay, cancel.
Bro, if you see Bradley, right,
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
then you'll be like,
Wait, he's a model.
No,
lah, okay.
wait. So first of all, guys, there's three things, right?
I'm not turned on.
You don't
Yeah.
have to be lah, but you have to acknowledge he's fucking good looking.
Oh, what the fuck's that? I
bro,
can
he
see.
can laugh with a glass. If it was me laughing with the glass, I would look like a fat fuck.
Bro, I can laugh with the glass. Let me see.
can you imagine me?
Let me see this.
Then like, dude, this guy needs to work out. And I work out every day, which is a fucking tragedy.
Looks like my friend, no problem.
No. So here's the thing, okay? Why I say he's the guy that everyone wish he could become, it's not simply because he's a model. First, he's 6 foot tall.
Yes.
I'm also 6 feet.
No, 6 foot, more than 6 foot. I think.
Okay.
I think 6 foot.
6'1", 6'2",
Gee, I
right?
lose lah.
Okay. Then, very intelligent.
Extremely.
Intelligent in what sense?
Everything.
In
I bet
Life,
something is
life.
not.
for most things. Oh, of course, there'll be some things.
100%. Okay, intelligence.
And then, he's a personal trainer. He's a model.
Okay.
And obviously, I won't divulge. But he's in a financially good place.
Okay.
You could
So
have
it takes-
stopped at the first point. It's really stellar for me.
On top of that, right, I think of all traits that Bradley possesses, right, he is one of the most humble people I've ever met, despite
Right.
having all those traits.
Yeah, man.
That is key, you know. That means you have all that already, right? You fucking smart already, right? But you still open to fucking information and like listen to people
That's
and
right.
understand and empathize. This is key. That's why
Yeah.
he will be
That's
on
it. He's the guy everyone wish that they can
Sounds
become,
too-
but cannot.
He basically is Siddhartha already, you know.
Yeah.
Who is
But a
Siddhartha?
buff model
Yeah,
Siddhartha.
Gautama Siddhartha. Is it?
Just not malnourished. Siddhartha.
Just that he has tattoos and he's not bald. And that's it.
Yes. So I was introduced by Bradley. He told me, hey, this guy named MJ, you should interview him on your podcast, you know.
Wait, you know what? MJ.
Yes.
What's MJ stands for?
MING Ming Jie.
Minji.
J.
Lanjiao. That's why I said just now, right? His name was Mingji. That's why I said right earlier.
I don't know.
No, but see, it's Jie, right? If you know Mandarin, is the pronunciation is Jie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the reason I call it MJ,
If you know Mandarin, bro, did he just assume all of us don't know Mandarin?
I know
I'm
you know
offended.
Mandarin.
Assumption.
No, I know you know Mandarin.
Yeah, it's right.
That's why I dare to pronounce. If not, I'll have to
The stereotype.
JIE
Ah.
fourth intonation.
Yeah, bro. Hey, Drew's learning Mandarin.
Yes, I know you're going Mandarin.
Say the fourth one. Say the fourth one.
No, actually, sorry. Actually, I still forgot what.
These Chinese guys, Chinese.
Oh, second. Mine's second.
Oh, yours second. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Is there a meaning?
Outstanding.
Outstanding.
Wow.
Only appropriate. Only appropriate. Mine is man from
Befitting.
east.
Man from the east. Japan.
Appropriate as fuck. No wonder I'm gonna that's why I'm retiring there.
Mine is
Mine Andrews is Taikin.
so
Daikin,
Tylo.
No,
Daikin,
not
Daikin, Cooling King.
I would be honored to be named after that icon.
Too cool for school. No,
Big
Taikin,
health.
it means king of health or some shit like
Big-
that.
big
Bro,
health.
are you do you
Big
fall
house.
sick a lot?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Which is ironic because that's just like
Mine is Ahe.
What?
Suits me, right?
What?
What is black lah.
Black. Sea black, you know, like sea kancho.
You don't know ah? You know all German people say Ahe, you don't know ah?
No.
Yeah.
I never knew either.
I guess you learn something every day. But to go back,
Let's
Yeah,
go back.
because
to
the introduction,
quite-
yes,
quite-
MJ was introduced to me by Bradley. So Bradley said you should totally have MJ on your podcast. And I was like, who's MJ? He's the guy that comments on your podcast. I'm like, oh, guy comment on my podcast saying MJ Ganny, you know me? Then I checked. I'm like, oh my god, go away. And it only goes to show how attentive I am, because like I see it, but I just reply, and I always think, oh, like normal person, stranger who watches my videos. Then after that, only when they talk to me on Instagram, they only are like, wow. Actually, really got people talking because comments are so short, right? So you don't really elaborate.
Wait, comment me, I never see in.
God,
Maybe
God.
I never realized when you
Smooth
You
criminal.
know, I do it.
Michael Jackson
I do it
on my
for
vlog.
your vlogs as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you still remember, there was one time you were in a plane
Uh-huh.
and Mukris Mate was in the plane.
Yes. You're the guy who commented. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maurice Mate was in there.
I was right at the end of the video. It was like Mukris Mate.
She was sitting
Fucking
at
sharp.
business class.
The shit that people see on my videos sometimes, I feel like, what the fuck? I didn't even notice
Yeah,
that.
Mukris Mate.
Yeah.
Mate's son.
Wow.
I was from Japan that time. Early this year only.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after that, Bradley connected us, and then I makan at your place at Hainan Joy,
Yes.
right? And at the same time, we had this amazing 4-hour conversation, 4+ hours.
You have a restaurant?
No, my mom runs a cafe, and then after that, a bakery, then cafe.
Then cafe.
So when are we coming?
Anytime it's
Dinner? Oh no, dinner closed. Shit.
Yeah.
Sunday closed for
Break my
30.
hearts, bro.
So I went there, had a stellar conversation. I walked away. I forgot to fucking pay, and I was like, oh my god.
You didn't
MJ.
forget. He didn't forget. He
It
didn't
was all
forget.
part of the plan because
Yeah.
I know I'm coming and we're gonna have down to bones later. Right?
Yes. So it was part of the plan already.
okay.
So
What the
I'm
fuck?
gonna
Strategy,
get
bro. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
We're gonna have down the bones later.
Yeah, you wanna go?
Oh, I never tried before.
I wanna hit the rich.
Yeah. Actually, I forgot to tell you all that we're having lunch and
Yeah,
dinner. But last minute I got problem with
Just didn't wanna
Aaron.
Sure.
So yeah, and that is how in the end I met MJ. Super
Yeah.
conversation, learned so much.
Yeah,
and
man.
I was like, okay, we need to arrange time and everything. Then here we are today.
We were worried, right, that because of the 4-hour conversation, that we were nothing to say.
Don't worry,
I
trust me.
promise.
Yes.
You have tons to say today. We are here.
Sure, got
yes,
sure
yes.
conversation.
You've been here for like maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I
and we
think.
haven't even get to the part. Introduce yourself,
Right.
MJ.
Okay, my name is MJ. Some people call me Michael Jackson.
Michael Jordan.
I'm not
Jordan.
no surprise
Mary
there.
Jane also can.
Yes! Chuck, we said the same thing
Bro,
last
I
night.
say the same thing also, bro. MJ.
I also
MJ.
thought Mary Jane.
The,
Yeah, I
the,
think
the
my-
reason I say MJ is because my name,
Ming Jie.
if you know, if you speak Mandarin, you will be able to pronounce my name. So they'll say Ming Jie, they will know. But most people...
Highlight lah, bro.
Yeah, correct.
Gone.
So in English people just call it Mingji lah.
Yeah, I mean, which is it's like a rapper name, you know.
Ming
Ming Ji, you know, the G.
Oh, Ming like
Oh,
gangsta.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
but
I see.
but I didn't get it at that time. I was in the rap life, not that I'm in
I wasn't in the rap life.
but
The rap life chose me.
Eminem.
so that's why I decided to change it to actually when I was in college. No, actually when I was in high school, I asked my friends to call me Gun, my surname. But it's like too official.
Bro, I have a friend. Her name is.
That's what you
Ganny
call my
Gun.
dad.
I call her Gun all the
Yeah,
time.
it's like hey, you know,
Yeah.
It's like weird, right?
Legit, that is how Andrew communicates with all his friends.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
They
I
call
think it's a question of normalizing it.
They call you
And
what?
then at some
Ng.
point it
they call him
becomes
Ng.
Why?
That's why his name is Chong. They call him Chong.
No,
That's not my surname, bro.
Oh
Yes,
my
Chan,
god.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a
No,
singular.
No, but you see, if I mention the non-surname, there's a term of endearment. Because it's like I'm a friend,
Yeah.
right?
You
Right.
should definitely give yourself an English name.
No, shouldn't. Stick to what.
Aaron.
MJ.
I think Aaron suits you. Aaron, you know?
Aaron. So you're a Key and Peele fan?
Yes! Aaron, bro. Aaron.
D nice. Jaqueline.
Jake Wallet.
Jake Quellen.
No, what's that? Aaron. Belake.
Lucky, yes.
Yeah. Bro, that is so good. Back,
Yes,
going back.
Yeah, so then that's high school, which is Gun, and into official. So then I moved on to college, which was Ming.
Oh,
Okay.
So all my college friends call me
Ming.
Ming.
Ming sounds fine.
wow, that's a very interesting way because now you're categorizing all your friends because in the end,
Correct. So I know who from where.
You
what.
see, John, I have that
Wow.
shit as
One
well.
day when I get dementia, I'll know where.
When you get dementia.
Eventually.
Not like that.
I totally understand where you come. Like standard 1, standard 6, what primary is it?
Huh?
Standard 1, standard 6 primary is
Yeah.
it? When my primary school friends calls me Saravanan.
Oh.
Okay, long ass name, and then my
Form
form 1 to form 6. What's
Form
that?
Form 5.
Primary, secondary,
High school.
high school. They call
Secondary.
me
Poige.
Sarah or Poige.
Yeah.
Sarah is for the girls. Poige is the guys. Yeah.
Why? Okay, first of all, why you call that name? I always want to know. And then, did you guys meet in high school?
Yes.
You always want to know what's Poige is it?
I
Yeah,
don't think we
bro,
should
it's
divulge
a-
how we met on the podcast.
That's a different podcast right there. Later we'll let you know, lah. Okay.
Okay,
Then
I'll watch
college,
the video.
college people calls me Black.
Oh, that's why MC Black, lah.
Yeah, that's why I'm still Black. Yeah.
which was very questionable.
So I got a lot of.
Mildly racist,
So but you understand? So when I go shopping mall, people are like, hey Black, the motherfucking college people, you know. Hey Sarah, high school.
Yes.
Good. That means you dementia also.
Yeah, you guys are very
Dementia
dementia
also,
proof.
yeah, we
Nice.
know. You know.
Andrew and I are fucked already.
No, actually not really. My college friends always call me Tai Kid. Wow. Yeah.
I guess I'm the only guy that's fucked here.
You're just
Yeah,
you're
I
just
get
John.
dementia.
You're just John.
Yeah. No, I know like 2 people call me Jonathan.
Who?
And I'm like, Melody calls me Jonathan. I
Serious?
have no idea
Melody
why.
calls me Saravanan as well.
Yeah.
Just call me Sarah.
Maybe it's
Please.
a formality
You know,
thing.
Yeah.
that's just Mel.
But I never liked my name because in preschool, people used to call me Johnson. Because Chinese people can't pronounce Jonathan.
So they just butcher it halfway and
Oh.
then decide what
It's Jonathan, right? Jonathan.
Sure.
But they say Johnson. Then my name became Johnson for a while, and then I was like, I think I better call myself John.
A big gay, lah. actually.
Yes, quite. Then after that, Dad started calling me Joe at one point.
Who?
That's
Oh,
That's
yeah,
so
yeah,
girly,
yeah,
bro.
I remember that. I remember
That's
that.
damn gay, bro.
Yeah.
Then I think just stick to John.
Yeah, that one didn't fly. That one didn't
Yeah, and until today, although it's my real name, it's in my IC. People always ask me, "Did you give yourself that name?" I'm like, "No." Then why you give me such a generic name? Thanks. The only pride I can take away from this is that at least my name is like Jonathan Wick, like John Wick, like Jonathan.
Oh,
That's
that's
the
cool.
only thing that helps me, stop.
John
crying.
is a generic name, but it's quite cool actually.
I don't know. I always associate it with John Doe. Then it's always like the generic guy lah.
John is
John
John
J.
for
Doe
me
lah.
lah.
So it's
John
not
is
very
John
important.
for me lah. So you're MJ lah, okay?
Yeah. So then start work, then became MJ.
I'm fine.
Yeah. That's
Please
also-
elaborate, right?
So yeah.
on how. Wait, you wanted to say something?
No, nothing.
Okay. I wanted you to elaborate to them because we had that follow-up conversation and it was bound to happen.
Elaborate.
I wanted to know like how he got interested into stocks and investment.
Correct.
Okay.
Because we all have to go. As much as we love this conversation,
Yeah.
as we more focus in that sense. So I hope you all understand. But I want you all to know that I want you all to know his background and how he got into stocks.
Okay,
and investment.
wait.
Yeah.
Very interesting story.
Going back there. So what do you do?
So right now I just talk about stocks on YouTube lah, basically. Right
Shit,
now.
so how do you get into
What's
it?
the YouTube channel?
So
My Money TV.
No, it's Mr. Money TV. It's Malaysia's, I would say, the largest English-speaking financial entertainment channel for
Yeah,
Malaysia.
Malaysia making
What was
big
that?
bucks.
Edu what?
Edutainment.
Edutainment.
Just wanted.
That's
to-
why we did. Okay.
That's why it's, that's why I also watched the
I don't know,
the
man. Entertainment. It could have been smashed, but yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I graduate. So I from, you all know Yok Chai. That's my primary school. So I'm gonna start at the beginning.
Okay,
You
sure.
know Yok Chai.
I know Yoknam lah, but I think it's good enough.
Yok Chai basketball, very famous for basketball. Then after I went to Damansara Jaya DJ.
Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's the same as Jen.
So what? Are they supposed to be together? No, right?
Oh,
It's just school,
I
man.
didn't
Okay,
know.
continue.
Same as Jen. Jen also went DJ.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know. Okay. So I left in Form 3 anyway. Then I went to, so if you all know anything about DJs, like 95% Chinese, not just 95% Chinese. Of the 95%, probably 2/3 are upper middle.
Yeah.
So that's the demographic, right? So then I switched over to, the old name is Seaport, but today it's called Sri Permata.
Wow.
I call it, it's a karat school in a very nice neighborhood.
It's a
Yeah,
karat-
it's amazing because
It's a karat school.
it's a very karat school. Yeah.
Like what?
But I don't say that hating the school because it taught me a lot, that school,
Wait,
because
is karat like it's just dirty or there's a lot of Indian
Oh, it's a
people
bit
there?
fucked up lah. Don't.
I use it in a generic way lah. I use it the word generically lah. It applies to all races there lah. So you just take, so I know
Oh, it's like
karat
karat.
usually is usually associated with Indian.
Indian,
so
yeah.
whatever equivalent for Malay and Chinese,
Okay,
just use that.
that's-
Oh,
also.
the karat is there also.
Yeah, it's there. So so it's mainly Chinese. So the PJ Babu, right? So I mean, Sweet Mata is also still in PJ, but then it didn't feel like PJ in Sweet Mata because it was very balanced. It was literally one Malaysia. So from 4, from 5 I was there, and when I say one Malaysia, it's like, you know, if you go to the canteen, there is a Chinese group.
And
And when I say Chinese, I mean Ching Chong lah.
Ching chong. Okay, okay. Literally, Hong Chong, Hai Ching Chong, all the ching chong. Okay.
The plate flowing lah, right?
And then you have the Malay.
So then the Malay is the Malay one, all, you know, good in
Melayu.
football.
All good football.
All good in football,
All
100%.
good in football, and then
There's an Indian.
also good in football, but yeah, I can't, some things I can't
Hey,
say.
just say it. No problem.
No, no.
I an Indian. Give you the permission.
MJ, I can only imagine the stereotypes in your head right now.
No, just say it. I'm sure I will understand. The Indians, what do we do? Parang. Are you gonna say parang?
No, they're very friendly and they have good food.
A lot, like tall, a lot of them are tall.
Yeah.
Sports,
But why was I
Hockey
Um,
lah, I think hockey lah.
No, bro.
usually not in class.
100%.
Debaters.
Oh.
What? We Indians debaters?
Oh yeah, Sweet Mata is a miracle because we've got we are from that school, that background, lower
Low middle.
low middle kind of thing. But we had people in the school that today end up becoming the national debate coach.
And they are
Wow,
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
incredible.
You know,
Yeah.
you know why most Indians are good debaters?
Because they're moms.
Yeah, because we always fight with our parents.
Yeah.
So you need to know how to fight with people,
Yeah.
you know. And if you can win your parents, your mom, you can win anyone.
It's the equivalent of the time chamber like in Dragon Ball, right?
Time chamber.
I know that one. You one day is 1 year one.
Yeah,
Yes,
but then they
yeah.
fight with like
The
100
Goku went
gravity.
inside there.
100 gravity.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
Indians have that training.
Yeah,
so
I
by the
see,
time
I
they
see.
come out,
100%. This guy,
Yeah.
guys,
they are Frieza minions. That's it.
guys, thank you for watching this podcast.
sense.
Very informative. That's all you need to know.
Makes sense.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so
You know.
their mums were like, you know, straight 100G already. Then after
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
got to the real world, it's only 5G. bro.
Yeah,
So
it's easy.
Yeah, and you know what's the thing? It doesn't actually matter whether you know how to speak English. They're good regardless.
Yes.
I mean, it's just a different language only, right? So yeah, then I met. That's actually when I had my first Indian friend.
What's
Wow.
his name?
Yeah,
Must be very memorable.
There's a few lah. So I don't
Raj.
say the first. Like I have a friend Tivian,
What does that mean?
Eric, Samuel, Barman.
Barman?
Barman.
Shit.
Indian lah.
Sure.
No, but then, so what's interesting is that school was exactly like Malaysia. So you have one camp, Jingchong Chinese,
One
you've got the
Melayu.
Kara Indians, then you've got the Melayu, right? Then you got one gang where all the races
All combined as
together.
one.
all speak English.
Oh.
And that's like us lah.
That's exactly like Malaysia lah.
So you were there, lah.
I was there.
You were there lah.
You were the English
That's when I got acquainted with debating. I never thought I could debate. I ended up representing the C team for the bidding school. I think we reached just before the top 32 for me lah.
Good enough.
So I was like, okay lah, good lah. We didn't do it for training for 2 months only, I think. So
Wow, that's fucking
But
incredible.
Sweet Mata is mostly Malay, right?
So
No,
it's
or is it
mixed.
even
Bro,
mixed?
it's mixed.
very
I
even-
think it's like
evenly
Saujana lah.
distributed.
Should be like Saujana, right?
Bro, Saujana is fucking heavily skewed Chinese. Confirm.
I mean now I don't know. Last time was okay, pretty balanced. But last time.
Saujana is fucking 100. It's like 80% Chinese.
Yeah.
Confirm. Yeah. Asrama is the one that made up 20% of the Malays, and then Indians also like I think 5% ish.
Okay, I guess 3,000 people.
Although all my friends were Indians though at the time. Yeah, English speaking Indians. Yeah.
So yeah, that was high school. Graduated SPM.
And then Ming.
So I like to say I have
I'm already
6
laughing.
near A's and 3 A's.
6 near
That's
8.
just near A's, B pluses.
Yeah. It sounds about like me as well. Sounds about right.
Nearly lah. So I like to comfort myself that way.
Alright, confirm myself saying
But then I was pretty disappointed to realize you only needed 5 credits.
5
to get
credits.
That's all the effort was redundant.
Yeah, then it's like I only study 5 subjects and BM lah. That's it lah.
Yes.
So
Or
then I
BM
only-
could have been included.
Yeah, so 4
Plus one.
credit plus 1 that I would have gotten. I mean, because it's either that or scholarship, you don't get rewarded
Correct.
for
In
being in the
between.
middle.
In the middle and nothing.
Doesn't matter, right? It's not like you get a 20% scholarship or 25. It's either
Correct, correct.
JPA or yeah, that's it.
So true. So
Yeah,
true.
so might as well why work so hard, right? Have fun and build friendships in school, which was kind of semi what I did lah. That's why.
That is already in itself one of the greatest things you can learn as a student if you're watching this
Yeah,
video.
dude.
Don't study
That-
so hard
that
for
takes some
SPM.
foresight to understand.
I don't know.
that-
You
that
need to convince your parents first lah. That's the first thing lah.
Why?
What? Why? Later they whack out you, don't feed you if you don't get good results.
Don't feed you.
No, I feel like scholarships and like good grades is a lot more applicable to people who need scholarships, who need the JPAs,
The
who
needy.
need the Petronas, the Prime Minister scholarships and all that, because they need the money to
Yes,
to
sure.
go.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right. So those guys they should strive for
Yes.
success. Because the people, like a lot of people went, okay, so then I went to Taylor's
Ming.
college. Yes, Ming. So this was the SS15 one. Today it's all indie
Oh,
already.
okay. Yeah.
But back then there was still Asia Cafe.
Yes, bro.
FTZ.
Asia Cafe closed already, right?
Yeah,
Bro, it's
back
a
then,
condo now, you know.
What?
It's fucking commune.
Disaster,
they-
man.
yeah, every time like an area is being knocked down, it's always condo lah, because more people
Yeah.
and all that. So yeah, I went to Taylor's. Did A levels. Though like most people, I didn't know what I want to do. And then straight after SPM, you get your results for December, right? Then January 9th, you have to go to college.
You straight went.
Didn't know what to do, so obviously did the smartest thing, which was to take A levels.
Yeah, I don't think that's the smartest thing, but I think that's
That
the
is
worst-
what every family would recommend.
That's the worst thing to go.
Or matriculation,
No,
like usually it's SEM,
matriculation.
Slightly better. Slightly better.
Osmed is like difficult fuck shit, man.
I think
But
about
I think in terms of like peer pressure, so if you do it, like of course, looking back, it's easy to say I should have waited and took out. But then when you're seeing left, right, center, your friends already like moving way
Yeah.
forward, getting scholarships, or that, then it's like, well, I got to do something, right? I need to take action.
So you went.
So A levels, rubbish, basically rubbish. But still, again, managed to get into Help University.
Good
I
enough.
thought you were at SS15 and then you said you Ponteng go Starbucks.
Yeah. So no, that's college.
That's college, bro.
Oh.
College still never touched finance. Still totally different. Didn't.
Bugger, you haven't touched finance until now.
No.
When the hell you touch finance lah?
So
That's why the story gets interesting.
So that's when I went to Help Uni study business.
Okay.
I could not understand why I was in lecture, because I would be in a marketing class, be a very sweet lady, but never done marketing before.
Sure.
Huh?
Teaching me about
theoretical.
marketing. Yeah. It's not boring. That's like worse than.
I would have just fall asleep and leave the class, way.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I did. But
Nice.
for most people, they were wanting to have fun, lah,
Play
right?
pool,
Play pool and all that.
foosball.
Yeah, football, correct. Asia
CC,
Cafe,
bro.
yeah.
Asia
FTZ,
Cafe,
FTZ, right?
FTZ, CC. What you
FTZ,
waiting
right?
for?
So I Ponteng school to listen to investing audiobooks.
Why? Like what the fuck?
Because I got so actually, and I actually didn't explain this when I was with him.
Oh.
Actually, because when I was in uni, in like the third semester of the first year, so we operated on a trimester system. I knew this wasn't for me, but of course the challenge is, if this is not for you, then what are you gonna do?
What is for you? Wow,
What is for you, and like
Some
you know what are you gonna do, lah?
Buddha enlightenment shit going on here.
So obviously, I know that whatever I needed to have some sort of economic sense, right? That it has to make money, lah, basically.
Yeah.
Survive.
But the things I was interested in was very broad. Would be more appreciated in, let's say, a Western country versus this part of the world, lah. So I was like looking high low, then. And what I was really interested in was liberal arts. So you guys are from the US, you all know what liberal arts are, right?
Apa tu?
What? Okay, what? Maybe explain what's liberal arts.
What's that?
It's like mass comm.
Oh, I'm from liberal arts then.
Yeah.
Yes. So what is the biggest stereotype of liberal arts?
You
You only can talk.
Yes.
I don't know. Okay, that's probably the second biggest.
What's the
It's
second
a
biggest?
useless degree lah.
Or you won't make money lah.
No, yeah. Why is it useless?
You
Won't make money?
Ah.
Who the hell
That's
thought
the-
about?
At least that's the
things
Asian stereotype lah, right?
Yes.
So investing is the only liberal art today that makes you money. Not just money, but big shit tons of money.
Yes, how much money you made, D?
I won't reveal, but I
More than
happy
liberal,
lah.
more than a normal comms guy lah,
Yes,
like
ah.
journalism.
Hey, teach me lah then.
Can
I want to make money, sia. I know job now, you know.
I don't mind appearing on the podcast again.
MCO, you know, MCO got me dry, bro.
But continue, please. You're on a good roll here, MJ.
MCO got me dry, bro.
No, I see. I watch a lot of podcasts, so I know that's what he does, which it's cool. That's how it works, right? So yeah. Anyway, so
Is that a good thing or a bad
no,
thing?
it's good. No, it's cool. I think if I did not watch the podcast, it would seem like you are interrupting, but I know. But it's actually when he appears on camera, it's funny. No, I can show you. It appears. So I know I watch enough to appreciate what you're doing. I watch enough.
Do I interrupt people?
No. It's kind of like if you watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire,
Yeah.
and then you really are on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and then you're like, actually, I know already why they do this that thing. So he knows our characters well enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, but continue,
Yeah,
please.
so
please.
I truly appreciate what you're doing. I think
What?
all of you are at a lot of different things.
What am I doing?
I'm thoroughly entertained, MJ. Let me just put that up.
What am I doing? What am I?
Very
Hey,
I told you it's a good one.
wait. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing?
You're doing well.
That sounds like
You
Zach.
should really consider stand-up comedy.
Bro, that sounds like Zach, right? His best. You know?
Yes,
right?
right. It's his best.
I'm gonna keep quiet.
So I forgot my train of thought already.
No, you're doing finance, liberal arts.
Yes. So it's the one thing. It's the one. Actually, there's a book. It's called "Investing: The Last Liberal Art." You guys, if you want to read it, you read it, right?
Who's it by? Sorry.
Actually, I don't know, but I read the book. Already,
Okay.
So, so that's when I was.
Sorry.
Half an hour already.
Yeah, half an hour.
I haven't even started.
My god, that's damn funny. So fucking entertained, MJ. I gotta tell you.
Yeah. So liberal arts make you no money by and large, but there's a reason why it doesn't make you money. It's because you're in the wrong field. The world today rewards specialization. Right, you're an MC. That's a specialized skill. Not many people have that skill, right? We manage events. That's a specialized skill.
I can argue that, but okay.
Right. It's specialized because it requires a lot of effort, lah. I could say.
I think perseverance is more up that.
Yeah,
But okay.
Perseverance,
Continue.
So it rewards specialization. Whereas what I was always interested in was more of a generalist look at things, and basically people cannot see the value of that if because it's not specialized, it's not clear, it's not tangible. What you're thinking
Can't be
about.
measured.
Can't be measured. But with investing, you can, because your ideas, your thoughts about the world, what's going to happen, which stock's going to win, you know whether you're right or not.
So
Which is,
from skipping class and then you read this book, that's where you.
No, I didn't read the book. I'm just saying that the book is an example
the
to
book.
explain what I'm trying to say.
But
Yeah.
you got into this thing from skipping class. That was the first step, is it?
I thought it was
Yeah,
a
the
thought thing first, right?
Yeah, I would go on the LRT. I would sit from Kelana Jaya to Bangsa on the, listening to audiobook.
That's a far ride.
Yeah, then Bangsa, then the train to Jalan
Monorail, is it? Not
Semana-
right?
No, Rapid KL to Jalan Semantan. So I would listen.
Bro, you 1.5 hours journey, right?
No. It's about half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour from my place. Kelana Jaya to Bangsa is like 10 minutes, the LRT.
Is it?
Then after that, another 10-15 minutes from the LRT to, about 20-25 I would say. So you go listening, then you go to class.
Yeah.
And then so right opposite the old health building, there was a Starbucks.
Yeah, is it the health building where they
Pusat.
demolished it?
Yeah, Pusat Banana Damansara.
Have they? Yeah, they just demolished
Demolished.
it.
It was
correct.
the underground health, right?
Oh man.
Yeah, the one
Next to a lot of Tap Fun place, one.
Yeah, the scary. Yeah.
Scary.
I used to work there.
It's a bit
fucking
it's
horrible
scary.
place.
It's horrible lah. Because it was that place was very reminiscent to what's that Korean movie that won the
Parasite.
Parasite. Right?
Actually, it's very reminiscent to
It's
hell.
underground.
On top, you see all the fancy.
Fancy, but you see the
buildings.
the bad shit down. I think.
downstairs. Down there is all the Chap Fun and that lah.
Ah,
So I'll spend time in Starbucks, black tea latte, $11.90. I'll just drink it and
no problem.
You clearly ordered the same drink.
yeah,
Like
I'll
the
just
day
drink
you-
it,
I will
because
always
that was what I like the best, low sugar. So I would listen. Then I got interested, and that was when I thought, maybe I should make a career out of investing, being an analyst. So that's when in the first semester of my second year, this was 2016, I decided to quit uni.
You didn't finish. Fuck that shit.
And I was failing accounting 3 times. Ironically, now I look at accounts all the time.
You must.
That is ironic.
That's ironic. No, because in accounting, they teach you how to prepare the accounts.
That's the first basic.
So you need the trial balance lah. You need the T journals.
SOP, T journal. What is them basic shit, way?
So you need that, and I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay.
And even if for me, it's a weird behavior. Even if I can get an A and I can study, I could get an A.
But you can't
if I
apply
want.
it.
No, but I felt it was worthless to me. So let's say if I get an A, what was the gratification? Like,
Parents proud.
You can check journal.
yeah, that doesn't matter, right? So, but then in investing, you analyze the accounts and you look and you try to get a story out of the numbers. It's very different.
Yep.
Very, very different, right? If I like a company making profit and the other company not making profit, doesn't mean that the company not making profit is worse off than the other.
that's true.
Yes.
Right,
That's true,
right. Like you're in e-commerce, you know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about, right? So that's when I was like, yeah, you know what, time to quit. I don't know what I'm doing. So obviously, like most Asian parents, there will be resistance.
Such a nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
Resistance,
Such a
Choices
nice
of words,
Way of
choices
putting all
of
the
words.
arguments at home.
Yeah.
Behind closed doors.
And of course they push back, the typical lah, you need okay, yeah, I know you don't like a degree, but you get it as a safety net.
Sure.
Yeah, right. We've all heard that story before, but for me is you're paying 20K a semester. A year, sorry. This was 2014, 2016. And my argument would be, why not you give me the money?
So your parents give you the money.
No, they didn't, obviously they didn't.
What
They always say, why? No, I think you should go to Australia. I said, okay. Let's say I go to Australia, 3 years. Let's pick Melbourne. Accommodation,
Sure.
accommodation, food, and all that, right? Calculate all that. Okay, inflation adjust and give me that money.
So did they give you the money?
Because they didn't lah.
Shit,
But what I was trying to point is this: if I get a degree, even a local one, how long will it take for me to pay back that degree?
It's a financial way of looking at it.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Because why do I need to go to? It's very simple. Why do I need to take a degree? Usually there's only two responses. Three, sorry. Network. So that you can get a better job.
With the appropriate market rate pay, all that.
Yeah, all that
Knowledge
shit lah.
and shit.
And knowledge lah.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Network. I with all due respect, I was at help.
Your network is not going to be of much value.
God lah, but
No, it's not lah. It's not Harvard lah. It's not LSE.
Correct.
That bad is
Yeah.
it? Hell, what?
no, it's
It's not bad. It's not bad. In
But it's
fact-
not worth the money lah.
In
just
fact,
not
help
a-
is a really good institution because they actually, if you look at their rates, they're pretty competitive and they're very specialized into business and psychology.
Damn.
Which Sunway, Monash, all that they're a bit more like
I'm
higher end.
finance that, and then they're higher end, right?
Tar College,
So Tar College is I think cheaper lah.
100%.
So the first reason falls to the network part doesn't make sense. The second one is income. That one is the ROI question lah. How
Return
long will
investment.
it
Yeah.
return on investment lah? Even if I went to Melbourne, same thing, right? ROI question completely gone. Then the
Gone.
completely, yeah, no, because I run the math. So I actually did it for University of Manchester because a lot of my friends were in Manchester, right?
And also because of
Because of Taylor's College lah. So baseline is Manchester lah.
Wow.
not just that, what?
Hmm?
Not just
What?
that, what?
What
Yeah,
other
you
fan?
fans it.
It's a United fan. lah.
United fan.
Okay.
Yes.
So give some time to remember.
It wasn't even part of the ROI. That's
Yeah,
why.
yeah. So that one I just need a plane ticket, go and watch a football.
Yeah,
come
no
back.
problem.
I don't need to pay like what 20,000, 30,000 pounds. So I did the math, right? If you're an engineer, this is 2014 numbers, right? So if you're an engineer, you go to Manchester, come back to Malaysia, you will still take about 20 years to pay back your loan at a particular interest rate.
Sure.
So in the UK it's about 6, you will take 6, 7. In the US is pretty much the same. And Malaysians don't think like that because they're not paying for the degree.
100%.
The students or
Yes, of course, right?
So
Who
if you're-
pay?
I pay.
You pay. But those people who can go to Manchester and
Ah.
all that, who pay?
Parents lah, 100%.
100%.
There's a video on YouTube by this PhD holder. He said that the reason he did a PhD is that because during his masters, he actually calculated in pounds when he'll be able to pay back as a UK citizen. So he's earning UK money, right? He said never. So he said might as well just go all the way PhD.
Since the answer is never.
Yeah, it's never. Just
Yeah,
go
sure.
all the way lah.
Yeah.
Might as well lah, right? So so it's about 6 to 7% interest rates, probably a bit lower today. But in Malaysia, you have to add 2 to 3% because it's a Malaysian environment.
If we take the PTPTN loan, that's why I say.
But see, BTPN is not the interest rate; it's a subsidized rate. So what I'm trying to say is that the decision making is subsidized. So you cannot think logically, and you cannot make an objective assessment as to whether or not your degree is worth it as a Malaysian, because on both accounts you're subsidized. If you pay for yourself, it's your parents. Most of the time, it's parents paying.
Yeah.
Right? Or the second one is that you have to take PTPTN loan, which the interest rates are not market rate.
What are the interest for PTPTN now?
I don't know, but not as high
Whatever
as.
it is, it's quite heavily subsidized by the
Damn
government.
subsidized.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of other loopholes also lah, actually. So but when you when you reframe it that way, then you realize it doesn't make sense, right? So all of us, if what we want as rational people is that we want to buy
people.
we want to buy things that are high quality and cheap,
Yes.
Sure.
right?
That's the
Sounds
goal.
like
Yeah.
Dyson.
A degree is the complete opposite. Something that gets more expensive and less valuable over time. Which leads me to my third point, which is knowledge.
How?
Thanks to the internet,
Yes.
whatever that is being taught
Can be
in
found.
units can be found on the internet already.
That's so true.
And that's not even like practical. It's theoretical in a
Yeah.
way. So sometimes you can't even use it.
Yeah.
So it's not even justifiable in that sense. The ROI I can argue though is that network in that sense. If you do go to
Yeah.
Melbourne, Manchester, or whatever. So,
Yes.
but even that is arguable because it depends on who you speak to,
Yeah.
etc., etc. It's too many variables we can't really
Yeah.
narrow down on and confirm.
So as an engineer, you still take about 20 years to pay off your Manchester degree if you work in Malaysia.
Based on your income, all that lah.
So then the response I always get is, why can't you work in England or why can't you work in Singapore?
It's so easy, dude.
So England, you pay high taxes. You pay more for a lot of shit, your rent and all that. So actually you net you more or less the same. In fact, if you stay here, you get to stay with your parents. You can hack.
Yeah,
You get
you get hack, you know. You get free food some more.
Maple story.
You get free food and free food.
free food.
On top of that, it's because of the culture that allows that.
Sure.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
That was just,
Then when you come back with a Manchester degree,
You're
whoa,
done. Oh, orang besar.
orang besar lah. But
For
of course
how
we
long?
know. So what lah? But but that's another topic lah. That's less work, right?
That's work.
So that's why I look at this. I'm like, the facts are like screaming in my face that.
Fuck.
can you imagine the foresight it takes to understand this?
Were you able to articulate this argument to your
No,
parents?
because
at that age?
I just hated university so much. I was so biased that I needed
You
to
would
find
find-
evidence to.
Part of the SEA debate team.
So
It's
you-
part of the
Sure,
nature.
yeah.
You just
so
went
you
your-
were, you were able to structure this argument towards your parents in this manner.
Not so much because even when I did, they probably won't understand it because
Sure, because they're
Boomers.
your parents are.
boomers are. So.
Yeah.
So you just went and just said, Dad, I'm quitting, and then you just quit.
But I think what they were okay with was that what I said was actually, I'm not quitting out of like, oh, I hate it and all that. I mean, I do, but I have to show them that I'm planning something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a
I'm trying
thought
to
process.
apply.
Yeah.
So at that point of time, the strategy was, okay, I don't have a degree, so I need to find a way to get into employment.
Okay.
That's the whole idea,
That's fair,
right?
yeah.
No degree, right? So specifically in my line, if I wanted to be an analyst, I was looking at how people hire, and again, it's basically based on degrees, and it's just a filtering process.
Complete bullshit.
If you have a better QS ranking for your universities, then you get in easier.
What
lah.
is QS, right?
It's how universities are
It's
ranked.
like the
Oh, okay.
University.
So your QS ranking is higher than.
They see
I
the
don't even
status,
think a
the
lot of
status
It's
of
like HR lah. HR will scan, then they
Yeah.
will see lah. Oh, Cambridge, whatever, automatic insight. Then
big BS, man. I hate this system.
But that's because there's so much. Then they're too lazy to think, so they'll just put everything in a box and nice. So and for me, what I wanted to do was that actually I wanted to spend 1 year investing first. So I would use my ang pao money to actually invest. I will buy stocks. I will write down the reasons why I buy it, like a proper research. So that after 1 year, when I go to the employer,
You have like a portfolio.
I show you that I got practical experience. I can show you what I've done, and that would, in terms of a CV, put me in a different category.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ain't
Because
know.
not be unique lah. But there's obviously a risk lah, because again,
Not
The-
conventional.
not conventional. You're probably going to be vetted by a boomer
100%。
So right.
Yeah.
这个是什么？
The system is
不要
already
不要
in
不要
place, so it's very hard to overcome the system.
But that was the plan lah, and I was pretty confident it will work, not without like risk or not without potential of failure. So I wanted to try that. Then just as I was trying that, my uncle who was retired
He-
got a bunch of money and
Oh.
started investing. Then he wanted to get educated, right? And he went for courses and all that. There was this course by this company. They said, wow, it's really good. Then he heard I was interested in investing because at the time my dad was like, as usual, the talk in
Well,
dinners
talk
and
about
yeah.
science, you
Oh,
know.
wow, okay, interested. Why don't you come for this course, right? And I thought at that point in time I'd been learning about investing. I think theoretically, why do I need, more stuff to learn? Now I need the practical and the actual work.
Yes.
So I just went anyway because then I realized, hey, actually, as I was sitting here, I said, why not I work for this stock investing education company, because the way they think about investing is very similar to what I've learned.
I see.
So for me, it was to get into the
cost.
into the company, lor. It's a foot in dollar. So what I also did was to offer to work for free.
No problem.
Because the way, again, a lot of these SMEs work is that they look at you, you're an employee. If you ask a certain amount of market rate, whatever you call it, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, whatever it is, either they'll say no because they can't afford you, or they will buy you, or they will get you, and they will squeeze you.
100%. So you work for free, then they can't squeeze you.
Then you can make all the mistakes you want, can experiment all
No
you
risk.
They
want.
can't fuck with you also.
They can't. I said, and I also say this because my background is one of a certain privilege.
Correct. You can afford to do that.
Yeah. No, I mean, my family's not
Yeah.
ultra wealthy. I mean, we get whiffs of upper middle class, but we still a middle class,
I see.
right? So I can afford to do that. Fortunately, my boss at the time was very appreciative. He actually paid me
Some
market rate regardless.
Oh,
No,
nice.
market rate for SMEs, I would say.
Okay.
good guy, Alan.
No market rate, man.
Huh?
You told me how much you earned that time.
I don't know.
For SMEs, I felt
Is it?
lah. Yeah. But it was very hard to use the word market rate because my role was very, in a way, dynamic. Because you're SME, you do a lot of things.
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Yeah. So I got in. 3 years out there, a bunch of things happens. Obviously, I'm not going to say on camera because sensitive with my previous company. Then that's when I realized that the most important thing was to actually get in touch with people who were very high quality. So for me, my only criteria for joining a company is if there were people I can work under or with that I respect and I know can elevate me to a certain level.
Fucking hard though.
Hard lah. That's why I needed to. That's why I needed to do things like lower, not go for pay and that. I just work with you.
Just go on, yeah.
That was how the founder of Bloomberg. I don't know if you all know the story. That was how the founder of Bloomberg, became a billionaire. He just it worked for peanuts, and then every time the boss would leave last, and then he would actually stay back and then just like clean around, just pretend to clean the office, just so that he can have a conversation with the boss, just so that the boss can know him better.
Yeah.
And then eventually that boss open up a bunch of connections, which then creates an unfair advantage versus the peers. So that was what I was trying to do, and true enough, someone with no degree, I ended up making friends with people who were datos, former, like there was this lady, she was 2 levels above her was the Prime Minister of Malaysia. She was in charge in she was one of the directors for Bursa Malaysia. So she reports directly to the CEO, and the CEO reports to the Prime Minister, right? So I met someone like that. Then I met my current partner.
Okay.
Worked 10 years at Shell. So for the viewers who may not know what that means, if you can last 10 years at Shell, you are at a certain level. And he was upstream, meaning he was building the platforms to suck the oil up, right?
It's the offshore.
Offshore one. So it's basically the no bullshit job lah.
Deep Pearl Horizon.
No bullshit.
Yeah, Deep Horizon, yes, Deepwater Horizon.
Yes.
He was managing
that shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
When he left,
bro,
he was
that's-
managing $2 billion.
That's a big role right
What
there.
is deep? Sorry, say that again. Deep what horizon?
Deep Pearl Horizon.
What is Deep Pearl Horizon?
Deep Water Horizon.
Deep Water.
No, it was
Deep-
the
Deep
platform
Water,
that exploded.
The platform that exploded.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a movie like you
Oh,
can,
sorry.
you can watch it.
It's a real story as well.
Oh.
So you know, I met people like that and a whole host of other people. So other investors, things like that. So it was yeah.
Didn't you wait? Those people that you meet, right? I'm pretty sure they. I'm not sure, but
Yeah,
they
yeah.
are probably elder than you at that period of time.
Yeah.
So how do you just like connect with them? You know, I mean, there will be like an age gap, right? So just like, hey
Yeah.
man, what's up?
This is a good question. I think for my current partner is very unique in that literally age doesn't matter to him. Right? Because he was doing a job, right, where literally age didn't matter. You have to make sure the electricity was on, the plugs are on, you have to make sure that everything there's like
It's working like clockwork,
7,000 switches in a oil platform, right? It doesn't matter how old you are as long as you get the job done. So he was always trained that he would school people older than him, he would be friends with people younger than him. So I think because he's 15 years older than I am, so you know, he doesn't really care as long as
The job gets done.
yeah, first of all, common goal and vision, by and large, values, all that, and then of course execution, getting the job done. So then it doesn't matter.
Also
So,
very rare in this industry.
yeah, very rare, right?
Well, I think he just has a good quality, man.
Yes,
Some
yes,
of the older people I try to associate with because of my age, they're just like, you know,
Yes.
Yes,
That's why it's very rare.
damn.
Yes. So I gravitate to people like that. That's why in my previous company, of course, we are going too much detail. There were senior management that had the attitude that I'm here, you are there. So
Pride.
like the lady at Busa, she wasn't really. Of course, she was 60. Obviously, there's going to be a gap, but even her, you know, she was amazing. Like if there was you know, the issue with the aircon, she will take the ladder up. By the way,
Wow.
she's overweight.
Right.
And she will still take the ladder.
See,
and she
that's a sign of a great leader. We do the job
Yeah,
yourself.
man. Not afraid to
Yeah.
roll up their sleeves.
Just do it.
So that's what I'm saying, that I need to meet people that are of high quality and all that, because then I start to build
That network.
functional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the foresight having all that while you're bonding class at the time and you're thinking like, fuck, you know, my culturally it's telling me that this is wrong, but at the same
Yeah.
time,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because for me, my question is like what's the most one thing for me in my 20s, right? Money or skill and knowledge.
I think you take skill and knowledge.
Yeah, because, and here's the thing I realized also is that, let's say if you follow the traditional route of you go to University of Manchester, you do really well, and then you come back, you work for a big corporation, and you earn market rate, so to speak, right? Let's say fresh grad, 4,000, 5,000, right? That's like premium. What actually ends up happening when you do that is, again, big corporations, when they pay you that amount, there's a specific job that they want you to do, and there's a specific results that is predictable,
can measure.
and they know that you want to do it. So they will silo you into that corner. And the friends you meet, the friends you know, will all be like you. Now, if that's what you want, that's totally cool.
Doesn't
Sad
work for the
life.
general knowledge thing though for you.
Yeah.
Some people want it, right? So that's
I think that's
the strategy.
Safety in that lah.
It depends on what you
uh,
want lah. It depends on what you want. Some people like that. It's like that's
You like that?
yeah. Some
Oh, I
people like that.
cannot
It's
lah.
like the corporate job, 9 to 5. You go back home, see your family. Like if that's what floats your boat.
Yeah, yeah.
Serious or like I mean, as long as you're happy, right? So,
Yeah. So that's one strategy, lor, and it works lah. For sure, it works. The problem is that was the predominant strategy for our parents' generation.
Yeah.
Not our
So
generation.
it worked, right? They were born in a period where everything went up. House went up, stock market went up, everything went up, right? Just to give an example, you know, my godfather, he studied in Manchester, not Manchester U. He studied in Salford. He was telling me he could work in a kitchen back in the late 70s, early 80s in the UK, earn £1,002 salary,
Wow. Under table.
pay no
Legit,
soup
legit.
kitchen. No,
Legit.
you-
Oh, soup kitchen.
soup kitchen, you just
Oh.
cook, not even cook, you just
talk
wash
dish out.
plates and all that, right? You send back money to his mom back in Malacca and pay for that year's
Tuition.
tuition. He just have to work. He just have to be willing to say, I don't go for holidays. I work in the summer 3 to 4 months.
Only summer.
Only in the summer, and he paid off the whole year.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
You
So-
can
So-
found
Times,
Those were the times up, correct?
Yeah. Over
And
here,
then not only that, back then, when he came back, So that when you buy a house loan, when you buy a house, right, you take a loan, right? So the banks, they usually don't tell you this, but the banks have their internal scoring. They need to know whether it's legit.
You're capable to pay back the.
So one thing that they usually have is this thing called loan to income ratio.
They will check what they will have a certain.
They'll check they call it secret.
Yes.
Yeah,
Secret. This is one of the elements, but this is a big one, right? So usually they only give you if your income is a tenth.
Of the
It's
loan.
at least a tenth of the loan. So a ratio of 10.
Do they factor in the?
Serious? A tenth of your loan?
No,
Which means
it
your
also
loan,
depends.
your loan
the,
can only be up to a tenth of your
So
income.
for example, if you earn, let's say 5k a
5K,
month, that's
okay.
60k a year. So you are eligible to take 600k in loan, for example.
Oh,
Assuming you put a 10% down
if
payment
this is
lah.
a single loan lah, not a joint one, right?
Joint one, I don't know lah. I
I'm
have to
not
check how they do their.
So I'm not sure about the house, the loan as well. Sometimes the property developers will have their own dealings with the bank.
But this is based with
Is it?
bank only, ma. Solely you and bank only. Because
Yeah,
bank
yeah.
is the one that pay the
Oh, so you just go to the bank, just get a loan.
So
Okay.
one of the criteria is usually 1 to 10.
Yes.
Back then, my godfather bought a house in SS2. It was 1 to 3. He
Wow.
could do it with 1 to 3.
1
His
to 3.
income, because
How many years
he was
ago?
earning 1,002 ringgit when he first graduated. So you times 12, that's about 15,000, 16,000.
15 ish.
The house was 50k.
Bro, I wish I could just time travel
in
back.
SS2.
Bro.
My
What
God.
the
Think
hell?
about the goal.
Bro,
Yeah.
think about how much you can sell the house
Now
now.
got fucking burger left lah.
So they were born in that era, I know.
Sure.
So that, and not only that, they work in a time where your big corporations will reward you. They'll be very nice to you as long as you're
Bonuses.
loyal. They give you bonuses. Like, I know my dad worked at public bank for 40 years. I mean,
That's mad.
yeah. I mean, when he's about to retire next year, he will get what we call a gratuity. Basically, it's your last one salary times 40 years, which my dad, the numbers of years of service.
So they'll take that 1 month salary times 40.
Yes. Based on number of years you spend.
Number of years you spend. So they take care of the people. I mean, just to give you an example, so because my dad was an employee during the 90s when interest rates were 7-8%, you could get a fixed interest rate for the house that I'm staying in right now at 2%.
Yeah.
So
That's
take
the
book.
same with a lot of your larger banks, your main banks, CIMB.
They
They
give
treat
you
their
this-
employees like gods,
Yeah.
right?
That's why they
Cars,
stay there for years,
loans. Yeah, right. They tie you down in that sense.
But today,
Lunch.
right. So it's a
The only
totally,
word.
it's a totally
It's changed.
different. Yeah, but you see,
Bugger.
because they succeeded here, so they're transmitting what worked.
I don't think
Sure,
it's not. It's not that. It doesn't.
It's
not
you.
that
You
simple.
can understand it, but that's
yeah,
the same
yeah,
thing.
I think it's if I were them, fair enough lah. It worked for me. Why shouldn't it work for you?
Yes.
There's a lot of context.
Yeah,
in it, lah.
maybe we'll be telling our children, hey, you should start a YouTube channel. Start a YouTube channel.
I don't recommend.
And the father, no, I want to be a space engineer. No, YouTube channel.
YouTube channel, bro. Now
I get-
hologram
don't-
feature, bro.
Yeah, right. So so that's the. How do we veer into this part of the conversation?
I don't even know, man, MJ. That was a very in-depth analysis of your fucking growth, right? But that was one of the conversations I had. Totally opened up my eyes, right?
Yeah.
Versus us, where we just follow the path that was set for us.
Did
Never
you,
even.
did you follow the path?
Yeah, 100%. I just thought like, fuck it lah. I just go into advertising because my dad told me to go into advertising. He said you can talk.
You?
have a good sense of art. Go into advertising lah. But you have to work very hard lah. I'm like, okay lah, I guess. Then like that no. I even told Andrew you should do PR. I don't even know jack shit about PR. I was like, I think Andrew can talk very well. He can
Yeah.
maintain a lot of relationships with people. Then I'm like, you should do PR. Andrew go PR, liberal arts go New York. He's like, wow, fucking so high, right? Everybody here treat me like shit like that. Then fuck it. But that's the truth, right? It's like awakening, understanding, and then processing, and then you're like, actually, why? But asking why is also goes down to privilege, education, stuff like that.
I think this is the explanation that makes the most sense to me. Because for your entire life, all the way until 22, 23, when you graduate, you have been asked to keep your options open. Meaning you never really focus on one thing.
Correct.
Versus, right, people, let's say in Germany, by the time you're 15, 16, they're already asking you to do apprenticeship.
Yes.
So basically, you go, let's say you want to be a car mechanic, okay, 15, 16, you just shadow one
Yes.
guy.
Sensei or some shit.
Yeah,
Like a
who's
carpenter
maybe
or-
30 years old, you just
Yeah.
follow what I do. So by the time you're 22, 23, you got like a marketable skill
Yes.
and start earning the big bucks already,
Damn, why the fuck we don't have that shit?
We do.
We do
Oh.
We do. The polytechnic.
technical vocational school lah, but it's not as apparent. People
Yes.
still prefer the academic A levels, SAM, IB route.
Bro, I think Newswan went there, bro.
News one.
Yeah.
Swan, definitely.
Yeah, news one.
Yeah, I mean, my friends also, they do aircraft maintenance engineering. Straight away, they start earlier. They may not have more income or just about equal, but you know it's harder to fire people like that because
Yeah,
They
the
are so
specific
skilled.
Niche
They are so
skills,
skilled.
Yeah, but if you take a degree in even maybe engineering aside, but maybe you take a business degree, the arts degrees and all that. Even today, doctors are struggling.
Yes.
Dr. Jason Leong, I don't know if you guys know.
I know
Is
the
it the
comedian, right?
comedian?
Yeah, he was arguing if 10 years ago you tell people should you be a YouTuber or should you be a YouTuber or a doctor or work in oil and gas? Most people will say, oh, of course, doctor, oil and gas, or
Yeah.
YouTube, YouTube, you know.
Just want to point out that YouTube earns fucking shit money if you have very low subscribership. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
and the niche you're in also.
Yes.
So yeah, doctors are struggling today. Doctor pay has actually dropped
Yes.
over the past 10 years. Dropped, inflation adjusted.
Still pretty high. I mean, how much they earned last time? Damn.
I think it really depends lah, but I'm gonna go
No,
back.
but what is the cost of being a doctor?
Yes, that's
Bro,
why.
that's
Yeah, when you look at it from an ROI perspective, it's
And
not
the time
even
spent.
close
Even if you
to
go
that
to
high.
IMU local, it's still gonna cost you about a meal.
What the fuck, a meal?
About that lah.
dude-
So even if you go to IMU, it's still one meal. About there. Right.
It's not.
So imagine
It's ROI.
if you want to do it in the UK, how much is it?
Bro,
More.
times 3 lah.
Even
That shit.
in Hyderabad, India.
Bro, he going to the lowest post.
No, but in India, it's
No,
India
India's
is pretty.
legit.
It's pretty legit, right?
Yeah.
India. That's high as shit,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. And to give you a sense, right? This is going to be a bit racist, but to give you a sense how good India
ready.
is, Chinese people will send their children there.
Actually, it's true.
Yes.
I know India has
you
been
know
growing
Uran,
for
you
the
know Uran?
past years.
Yes, he's
Law,
the
what?
architect.
I
right?
got
Yes.
Charlene is it?
Uran's brother's
Ex.
ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, she
also
went to
did
India and did
dentistry in
dentist
India.
in India.
So it's legit. India is
On top of that, I
legit.
think, if I'm not mistaken, in Malaysia there is no liver transplant service here. So what we do is there's a partnership with India and Glen Eagles to send your patients to India,
Yeah.
or bring the doctor here to do.
They're legit. They're very
Fucking hard.
legit.
Yes.
Damn.
But I want to go back to
I'm
your
legit.
career in a sense.
Yeah.
So I know there was now we have a extremely detailed understanding on your path and how you reach there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Bago literally just ponteng class and just listen.
I mean, to sum it up, yes, spontaneous and all that, but to have that foresight is incredible, right? Okay. So now you're in this industry.
Yeah.
I suppose my question out of curiosity is, where is the next step in that sense? I mean, you want to talk about what you're doing right now, and then
Yeah.
where you aim to be?
So after I left my previous company, actually I started off as a research analyst. So basically, you just find stocks that are good, and then at that point in time, I would actually have to prepare monthly presentations to our paying clients to do research on a stock, 2.5 hours, no holds bar. Any question they have, 120 in a room, another 50 to 60 on live stream, give or take.
Wow.
So
That's fucking crazy, bro. Wait,
yeah.
you're saying you have to answer all these fucking questions?
Answer.
no, and then everyone
Based on
there is
research,
pretty
ah.
much older than me.
Yeah, yeah, that's
98%.
And they'll ask for justifications for your
Ask for
education.
justification.
So they ask
you
why
got a
this, why that,
number.
then you
Yeah,
like-
ask why, yeah.
My fucking god, dude, that's fucking
Yeah.
stressful, man.
Yeah, and we only have 1 month
It's
research.
okay, I mean, that's his job.
But we enjoy. Myself and John, my partner, we enjoyed it. So it was a challenge, but fun to us also lah. So we'll take the good and the bad, right?
My god, the education on that specific industry must have been fucking crazy, bro. 1 month of
Yeah.
research.
That's why it's an entire process, and if you don't like it, then
You
then
can't
there's
get
no
the
way.
best,
Like if people tell me I want to make money in the stock market, that's why I want to be an analyst. I'm like
Not easy, huh?
wrong.
Wow.
That's like just do MLM something. It's easier. No, seriously, it's easier.
But
It's
that
easier
is
lah.
fucking intense. Okay, so you're with John and you do a lot of research for these 120 packs-ish, answering their
Correct.
questions as an analyst. Yeah.
Presenting.
Presenting.
Yeah,
the-
so I was planning on 360 live stream. That was initially my main job. Then, of course, because I was a small company, I was at this company and they were doing education courses, so we charged like 4 or 5 figures for the courses.
What the fuck
Normal,
per person?
bro, it's normal.
No, normal.
John,
It's
it's
normal,
normal.
My god.
John,
No,
this is
no.
normal in this.
For stock investment,
Of
per
course.
person is...
But no, but it makes sense because if you pay, let's say, 15, 16K, whatever it is, usually people who pay that, they earn
More.
15-20K a month.
Oh.
Logically,
And
right? It's a marketing thing.
They're
right?
going there to like ask experts
And
for.
supposedly they're supposed to get like recommendations on stocks that will give you the positive ROI. To
Yeah,
justify
but I-
that cost.
Yeah, but we're very careful we don't give recommendations.
Because they might put it blame later. So
Yeah, and SC will come down on you, which was as Securities Commission, which is the guys who will.
Because they might assume it's hearsay, and then you have insider information.
That's
stuff.
right. So yeah, so they'll pay for it because their portfolios are 500K, 1 million. So if they get a 10% return, it makes back the cost fee by a
Huge margin.
it's just a
factor.
small
Yeah,
amount.
small.
Yeah, so that's why I was also a trainer. I was teaching people how to invest using our specific methodology. So I was also a trainer. So weekends were pretty much packed. Every alternate weekends I was working. That was my second job. Then my third one was we were selling these courses, but my previous company, they did not even have a marketing department.
Yes.
It was very weird because we are a marketing centric business. So certain business are what we call safety centric. So let's say if you think like, say you're Tenaga or maybe you're a glove manufacturer, you're very very into the manufacturing safety.
Yes.
Safety is the paramount. Then there are other type of companies like let's say Netflix or
Entertainment.
entertainment very important, right? And so marketing is important for these kind of companies. So we fall under the marketing category more lah. But we didn't have a marketing department. So basically I was like, okay, I took up the challenge and said, we don't have a marketing department, don't even have a marketing head. So I'll become like
Okay.
the de facto, the de facto marketing. So I learned, that's when I learned copywriting. That's when I learned about marketing funnels, sales funnels, all that, A to Z. And then we want to create something for the company.
To push the product.
Yeah, long to short. So my colleague John was the master trainer. This was my current partner. He was the master trainer. I was the junior trainer, and then I was running this digital. We call it the digital online team, the top team back then. Basically, we felt like we were responsible alongside maybe 2 or 3 other people for 80-90% of the company. We didn't feel like our voices were heard. To cut a long story short, so and we had this strategy. There was a lot of misunderstandings, and I won't go too much into it. So basically, we're like, okay, you know what, doesn't work. So we will step out and we'll do our own thing. So that's where we are today. We wanted to do our own YouTube channel, but then we realized why not work with Mr. Money, because he's the number
He
one.
has
in
a
the space.
following,
He's
yeah.
a huge following, and so that's what we're doing now. We're still doing, but we're doing affordable education now. So we're trying to come out with different types of very high quality stock investing education, the kinds that the kind of things that analysts are being
Do you?
trained to.
Does the cost? I mean, do people have to pay for the cost, or is it?
Actually, we have not come up. We just actually finished filming,
Oh, okay.
so it's just starting the post editing phase. So the pricing, all of that also haven't finalized yet. So I
You
can't,
can't
say
say
yeah.
anything.
But at the same time, their YouTube channel has a lot of like tips of stock investment and finance advisors and stuff and shit like that. But
Yeah.
when I met up with MJ, right, the first thing I actually mentioned was, look, I don't know jack about stocks,
Yeah.
investments, and finance. In fact, for me, right, like it's blank, you know. You know when Dad talks about it, I was telling him also, you know, like my mind goes blank because I feel like there's this like overwhelming number of words that come. The jargon is so fucking long,
Yeah, same.
right? The financial jargon that comes
Like what?
is so intense.
Yes.
Careful.
Oh.
What's the noise?
It's the RPG. Okay, so to me, my reasoning was, I don't know. No, not reasoning lah. My logic was like, I don't know why these people have to do this. It's like it makes it so difficult for people like me because I'm a fucking moron lah when it comes to this type of shit, right? You can tell me check out a video, but when it comes to finance and shit, I completely blank. Especially house loan, all that, bro. I was basically just being pushed around, right, by dad, by the bank, and by the lawyer to get this house. That is basically how it went down. Like, hey John, can you sign here or not? Can you read all this? No, make sure you don't con you. Okay, I read. Okay, don't con me lah.
No, but actually, but to that point, before I let you go on, right? To that point, actually no point reading one, because you assume, right, when you read a legal document that you can change certain things, right?
Yes,
Yeah, but
But then you can't
It's a
change.
false
So
assumption,
no
huh?
point.
Yeah.
You just
yes.
I don't know.
So to go back to that, right? The first thing I told MJ is, MJ, I think you need to simplify the shit for me.
Yes.
Because I have no idea what the fuck you would say. Like, you know, when you talk about, I don't know, all those little acronyms like, I don't know, IPCG, whatever like that, I also lost a bit. That's why I always just stop and have to ask. So I felt like when I watched a couple of videos.
Cool.
Yeah, and I also follow them on Instagram. You kind of have a better idea. And then when you open the topic of conversation, I was having Cosmic Encounter with Poige on Friday and all that, like I play a board game. I was asking all of them like cryptocurrency and shit like that. And there's this stigma that, I don't know, maybe people have it, that investment is kind of like gambling, right? So I was asking them like, isn't investment like gambling? Because to me it sounds like it. Like, I'm going to be straight up, right? Like, I pour money inside, hopefully earn me money. Same thing, if I play blackjack, I put money, hopefully earn me my money back.
You think it's gambling?
So, do you all watch the movie 21?
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes. Brilliant movie.
Amazing fucking movie.
So, actually...
The casino, the number game, is it?
Actually, whether investing is gambling or not gambling depends on
The individual.
how much you understand about it.
How much you want to what?
How much you understand about
So
it.
is it
To the
gambling?
people in 21,
To them, it's counting cards.
yeah, it's not gambling.
So John, you need to sharpen your mind.
Yes.
I know, but at the same time, so going back to the
Yes.
jargon, that was my huddle. Because I never really pour anything on my own investment, money, time, effort, unless I understand it, or at least a brief understanding. But he was saying how sometimes they can just be very arrogant people that want to show off.
Yes, so the reason why it's filled with jargons, the industry, is because I can tell you, being in the industry, what are you talking about? Advisors, unit trust agents, insurance agents, all this, right? Of course, it's a generalization, but my feel is that a lot of them are insecure.
So they just try to lift
They're
themselves.
hoarding the
up.
knowledge.
Is it the pride? Is it
They're hoarding the knowledge and they're layering the jargon around it.
for what?
Because it's their rice bowl. So I remember the previous podcast about the insurance. Have you all been approached by insurance agents?
A lot of-
Actually, no for me.
Okay. Do you realize that the thing they always talk to you about is one of three things: savings plan, endowment plan, or investment link?
Sounds about right.
And medical card.
You all
I
know
guess.
that it is the highest margin product for them. That means it's the highest commission product.
That's why they come to you and sell that lah.
They sell that, but what you actually need
It's
is your critical illness, your TPD, and your
Critical
death.
TPT and your dad, because your dad will some shit.
But that's the lowest commission.
Yes, that's why they don't sell it to you.
That's why they couple this with their investment link, their savings plan, and whatnot.
And you know why they like to sell investment link? Because when you pay them the money, they take some of the money to invest. That's why they call it investment link, right? Oh, actually, before that,
Do banks do that as well? I'm just wondering.
I think the insurance branch, maybe the insurance
they
branch
do
of
that.
the bank, they will
They
probably
take your
do
money,
it.
what they can do?
First and foremost, insurance is not investment.
It's just.
It is not
It's
investment.
never an investment.
But if you do not use the word investment from a marketing standpoint to the insurance,
It's a scam.
no, it's not scam. It's just it's
Why
not
would-
sexy.
Yeah, why would people do it?
Because insurance is prevention, and this is one thing I learned about copywriting also, is that people always prefer cure rather than prevention. People prefer slimming pills than working out.
Wow.
Who the fuck?
That is
That's
insight right there, but that's 100% true.
I like prevention. I like
Yes,
gym.
Because there's
but you're
urgency.
not. But you're not normal in a good way.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
prefer the.
It's true.
Correct.
It's true.
People
Bro,
want to eat the donuts and
and get
have
fat.
a unclogged heart. You know, that's what they.
What fuck that shit, bro?
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat a donut and then gym it out later.
But the point here is there is a thought process, but then some people just feel like if there's a shortcut. why
Yeah.
not?
So insurance is very noble actually, because the goal is prevention. When you get a critical illness, when you're bedridden, you're getting paid.
We are
Right?
helping
If you're smart, you can even get paid 3 times your annual salary for CI or critical illness. But if you keep it there, from a marketing standpoint, it's very hard to grow. Because you have to educate. Because the way insurance agents work is that they have to educate you for free,
Yeah, and
and then hopefully they buy for 300 ringgit.
Yes.
Hopefully you buy.
Hopefully you buy for 300
Yeah,
ringgit,
that's the
right?
thing. Yes.
So it's very tiring. So why not just put the investment there?
And then you buy.
So straight away the mindset
Took out.
turns to greed already. Now it's no more prevention, all that. Now it's the cure brain start to come out, which is investing. And another reason why that is investment links huge is because when you give them money to invest, you would have to, they would take that money and put it into a unit trust.
A bank, you trust something.
That transaction will give them an additional fee.
I see.
Then,
Then-
after that, every now and then you talk to your financial planner, insurance agent, if it's the less scrupulous type, or
The less scrupulous.
the type that
Bagus pun.
the types that do not understand it, they just kind of receive orders from the top. They will tell you every year to switch your funds. So when you switch your funds,
They get that transaction fee again.
yeah.
Wow. Holy fuck.
Those motherfuckers.
Why I say here, this might be a very disliked video lah.
It's okay. I mean, it's okay. It doesn't matter, bro.
You guys don't care about likes.
I don't
lah.
care.
No, I don't care. I want the
I want to. That's why we are here. Just talk about
Yeah.
the shit. You know?
I don't have the exact technicalities. You guys want, I can bring my partner John to come. He'll explain to you in depth.
Yeah, we'll
exactly
wait
what
for a 10-hour session, Yam Chat
Yeah.
session, maybe next month, lah. You know.
So that's insurance. So how are we talking about insurance now?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
That's the way
How the
it
hell
goes.
we come here?
No, so that's the thing, right? I was talking about jargon and shit like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
jargon,
jargon,
I was
jargon.
talking about jargon. So you see, even all that transaction, I can tell you a lot of people don't even know what transaction means, lah. But of course, fortunately, our podcast is there are
Mostly
educated
English.
people on here,
Yeah.
right? So when you make all these layers, right, that make people damn hard to overcome, right? They just feel like, I fuck it, I don't want to learn. So
Yeah.
that is me.
Let
That's
me
what
give you
I
an
thought.
example of how it's being presented. But what I talked to you about this switching transactional debt. How it's being presented to the client is, you need to do portfolio rebalancing for risk management purposes.
What the fuck does that mean? What
Ah,
the fuck does that
no,
mean?
but then,
Risk management.
but they see there are buzzwords. Portfolio management.
It means
Risk
nothing.
management.
It means nothing, bro.
Yeah.
It
Sounds
means
sexy,
nothing.
man.
Chup,
Sounds-
chup, chup. So they get a
Yeah.
cut. lah.
Risk
See?
management
It sounds like
portfolio.
they know exactly what they're talking
Go to
about.
a
Correct.
Mr.
No, I don't. I honestly think, right, and I'm not even saying this to shit on insurance people or whatever, lah, right? I think they actually read off a script.
Hmm.
I've been
I
on
think to
Intact
some extent, lah. Yeah. For
and
sure.
and sometimes, fortunately for them, the script people tell them you have to say this word because people feel confident and they want to do.
I
it.
feel it's just 80% of people would say this. The other 20% would just try to do it their way.
I think they will just repeat because that is the culture in our country. So to me, that was my hesitance in investment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when you, like you said, it's to sexify the whole copy ma, right? So when I went
But
to Maybank
don't
Etika-
every work sanctify their own thing to their own privilege?
for sure,
But
but
I think there's only so much you can sacrifice char kway teow lah. We
We
just
just
in
put-
John's case, you just put duck egg right there.
or jumping there.
Then you go. So it's quite easy lah. But these kind of complex products, that's when
Yes.
Ah.
That's why that's the hurdle for me. So like I can tell you, Andrew is definitely more educated in that sense because Andrew would read, he would find out meaning and all that. But for me, right, like if I were to read, and I think
Risk
I'm
management.
but maybe I'm a fucking moron and I'm ignorant as shit.
I think you put yourself too low.
No, confirm. In this element, I know where I'm not smart. I know where I'm smart. Okay, so when I read all this, I like gg.com, highlight, right? I either ask Andrew or ask my dad. Then they were like, it's okay. They're like, okay, I trust them. And it's true because I can tell you a lot of people do that. They will find the smarter fella.
Yeah,
and be
yeah.
like, hey, can check for me.
Yeah.
Because that's the same thing when people ask me, hey, can you correct my English? I'm like, can. I read it. Okay. They trust me 100% even if I fucked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the fucking truth, bro.
Position of authority, like you just
Yeah,
go
yes.
back to it. Yeah.
So that's the thing. So when I had the conversation with MJ also, it's on top of that, you try to simplify also, right? You still have to understand the process, you know. So for me, that was my barrier, and that's why I thought like, dude, MJ better come on podcast.
And it's our challenge because we know how many landmines there are in the field in terms of jargons, or because we struggle also. It's just that we were probably a bit more hardcore to go and push through
and
all the vines.
Yeah.
And that's why for us, one aspect of our own mission with what we're doing at Firo right now, as the name suggests, is finance in real life.
Wow.
You just finance,
Oh
right?
shit, I didn't even know what the fuck it meant.
Yeah.
What's .co for?
Oh, that is to chungify it. So you .co, you trust the name more.
Bro, I think so.
Don't what? Yeah, what?
Yeah,
Mine use
psychologically, I
.com.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's even better than .my or .com or
Correct.
.net
Wow.
or .asia.
Fucker, Yamcha sessions should have been .co, right?
Yeah, you better check on what lah. You check your the
GoDaddy
domain.
or whatever.
GoDaddy, I go check.
Yeah.
We bought ours for like 1 ringgit, less than
Is
1
it?
ringgit. Yeah,
There's .co right there, bro. You just put
Okay,
.c next.
so I'm gonna go back to
Yeah.
follow.co and all that. Is that what your objective is?
one of the objective, and it's one of our struggles when we were at the previous my previous company, because we had to explain it in a way. The kind of people that appear on our courses back then were varied, right? They were business people selling seafood. Then of course there was the odd accountant. Then there was the online jewelry seller that did very well. all sorts of people were there, right? Professionals, non-professionals, whatever. So we had to find a language that can transmit
Yes.
in a way. We were forced to do it.
Simplification.
Otherwise we wouldn't convert clients really.
The content is strictly in video format, is it?
For
No, they're
viral,
photos
we have so on Instagram, our formula is always for every 3 posts we have 2 infographics
Oh, I see.
and 1 video lah. Usually video is short form 2-3 minutes, sometimes even less than 1. So we'll try to do that. But if you want the long form content, we have the 10-minute videos
Which is like JRE clip style thing. And
a bit
Yeah,
lah,
yeah,
yeah.
Gotcha.
And on top of that, they're long
If
form.
you guys watch these 2 guys, if you guys want to learn about finance as well, you can check out Graham Stefan and Andre Jig.
Okay.
Ridiculous, amazing. So you can see our videos like modeled like
Based on
somewhat.
that.
Yeah, we're based on like somewhat similar lah. Then the super long form content is the live stream that we do every Saturday
With the
night.
Q&A.
Yeah, yesterday's one is up really. You guys want to check? Yeah.
So, let's say for example, John,
Yes.
blank, nothing, and stumble upon your
Yes.
your video,
Yeah.
and grew a liking, like want to know more about stock investment and
Investment.
everything, and maybe somehow want to be like you. Okay, how long do you think the process of learning will take for
Wow,
an
That's a good
individual?
question.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So the thing about investing is that it's always evolving. So there's no end point. It's not like it's
You
not like
study
a doctor
until-
lah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? There's no
Yeah.
end point. Then now you're a specialist, right? There's no now you're a good investor. It's always a process. It's always evolving. Even if you were good investors for the past 10 years, they would still have to evolve because
That's a changing of time.
Everything
sometimes,
change,
right?
okay.
You're in corporate, you know how taste changes all
Yes.
the time, right?
Market changes also.
Consumers, yeah. So for us as investors, we have to give a shit about that as well. Like, we have to change that. So it's also a process of, and one of the reasons I'm drawn to the field is also because it's always something new.
It's not
Something
stagnant. It's
yeah,
not just
yeah,
zero.
correct. So I wouldn't put a time frame, but I'll tell you what I did. So I took 2 years before I seriously invested in the stock market to learn everything I can.
Oh.
And there's no rush, right? Because okay, maybe this is a good time to talk about compound interest. When you the idea is compound interest that you start early.
Okay.
The earlier you start, the more money you
You
have.
earn eventually.
So there's a famous story. Was it the Indian story? I can't remember. No, but it's a really good story.
Why
It's a famous
everything-
story.
I somehow feel everything is related to an Indian, but you know, it's
Well, there's 1.4 billion of you in the world.
bro, it's like
Statistically, one in 7 chance to talk about you guys.
It's like this, it's like this, Drew. Hey, there's a murder right there. It must be an Indian person.
So
Chop, please don't get that in the video. No, just now
it's in the video. It's
I
good.
was,
it's
I
in
know,
the-
I was actually putting water. So I wanted to drink. Then I went like this. Then I was like, whoa! I didn't realize. Sorry. Okay, back to the Indian.
So there's a story about this really good chess master, the Kuai Lo chess, right?
The current one. The current
No,
champion.
not a current champion. It's a story. I don't know. It's a legend, a myth,
Oh,
or actual
okay.
story.
The legend, the myth, the man.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was really good, and then the king, what do you call a king? Like that?
Maharaja.
The Maharaja challenged him and said, if I the Maharaja beat you in chess, you have to leave the kingdom.
Okay.
But if you beat me,
You become a king.
no, then you get to have as much rice as you want. So towards who cares, right? But back then,
Back
rice
then,
was
that was
currency.
Rice
lah.
was
yeah.
Rice was currency lah.
DC.
Right, agrarian, right? So he said, so the guy won, the chess master won, and then so the Maharaja asked like, so how much rice you want?
Yeah.
Then he took one rice and
One
he put
grain.
it in the first square of the chess board, and he says, every time it moves one square, you just double it. Then at the end of 64 squares, that's the amount of rice I want. So the king was like, so what? Okay, easy lah. He bankrupted the whole kingdom. The
Wow.
whole kingdom's right plus more. He owed the
The chess master.
Master, yeah.
master
How much rice he give lah?
2 to the power of 64. You do it in your calculator.
I don't even want to mat that shit,
Anything to
bro.
the power of 64 is going to be a fucking massive
Bro,
number.
that is 2 to power 64. Brother, you're gonna get.
Yeah. A lot lah, basically. So that's the idea of compound interest.
You need to pay your house loan quickly, John.
Mm.
Oh, I see. Because
Yes.
the longer time I take,
You could.
the more I would
If I'm
spend.
not-
I think we had this conversation before at
Based on
Hannah
your
Joy.
principal amount.
I went to what's that? Property talk before. Then one of the banker told me, because I was just talking to him, and I think we became so friend lah. Okay, he said, correct me if I'm wrong. He said if you take a 35 years loan, so people will just chill and pay after 35 years. Until 35 years, you're basically paying double your house
Yes.
amount to them.
Yes.
Is this true?
Yes.
Yes. Correct.
Fuck me dead, bro.
No, but that's why I think I had this conversation with you as well. You asked me about my house. I was like, dude, actually, I have no idea
I
what
think
the
you
fuck is
should.
happening.
Yeah,
should think about
actually, based on the details you gave me, I actually went back and thought about it. Actually, your dad did a damn good job.
Yes.
Doing this.
So
Yeah.
because I had this conversation with Andrew. Okay, so I have to. I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm fucking privileged in life to have this house, to have this studio, to have.
I think if you
everybody
speak
here.
English, you have a privilege. If all of us who
For
are
sure,
yeah.
for sure. But
English
in
is a privilege,
itself, having more than that is crazy lah. So I know I had this conversation with Andrew saying that I know Dad paid like I think 40% of the down payment, right? Of
Yeah.
the house.
Wow.
So on top of that, when you pay an X amount of years, and then Dad will be like, I just pay off the bank lah. Then you don't owe the bank double the house.
Yeah,
Something
yes,
like
yes.
that. You cheat the system.
Because if you don't mind me sharing the details,
go please.
You told me that your dad actually did a 15-year loan.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
No, was it 15?
Bro, you don't even know.
No, I don't. That's the thing. But I
You
think
need to
it
know.
was,
Bro, you stay in his damn house, bro. You should get to know.
it's more than that.
Because you were telling me that basically the bank don't earn money.
Yes,
So
I
initially I thought that there was a scheme that because your dad was at the bank, so he managed to get something like that. That's initially what I thought. But if your dad got a 15-year loan, then your dad's right. The bank basically don't earn money. The bank earns the most money when the loan is longer.
Yes.
Yes. But I think you can take the and then pay off the remaining 15 or some shit like that.
Correct. You can pay
Yes.
off before the loan tenure ends up.
Yes.
So even if I took a 35-year loan, I
You
could
can
pay
pay
off
off the
at 7
remaining.
arbitrarily, right?
Yes.
And the math is very simple. So I was telling you about principal and interest, right? So when you pay back your monthly mortgage, you're actually paying it into two pots. The first pot is the interest, like your credit card interest, or when your
Percent
friend
if you
borrow you,
Oh.
your friend pinjam chewing gum from you, then never give back, then you have to give back two
Dude,
after.
that's the law, law,
So
okay?
there's interest,
Law.
So let's say you get a 500k loan and your house interest is about 5%. So you're
6.
paying about 25k a year, give or take, right? So a month that will amount to about 2,000 ringgit. You're actually paying a lot of it, nearly 100% of it, at the beginning of your loan tenure, mostly interest.
Yes. To cover back
You're
the
not
interest.
paying the
Your
principal.
house.
So you owe the bank, let's say 500k, right? If every time it grows by 5% and you only pay off 5%, you're
bank
still
forever
left with
use
that,
it.
right?
Yes.
So you're forever paying that.
Yes. You're
So-
not even paying for the loan. You're just
You're
paying for
just
the
paying the
interest.
interest only.
Yes.
So actually, you are paying a bit of it, but very minor,
Small
0.01%. So the way what we call a loan amortization, basically as fancy word
Amortization.
for the loan, right?
That's some accounts word there, bro.
It's always half the loan tenure plus 1 year. So for example, if you got a 30-year loan, you only start paying off significantly the principal at year 16.
Yes.
So it's
Halfway through,
15. So if you got a 35-year loan, it's about 18.
17.5.
Very true, it's they calculate it.
It's
to
a
the top.
process in which they can earn that money lah. So that's why I remember I had that conversation. But you
So that's why they always earn 2 times more, because you do the math, right?
see the percent.
If 16 years is about half the 30 years, right? That means they earn all the interest back already.
Then they just pay.
Then only they allow you to pay off the
House,
yeah.
installment. So that's why they make double.
Fuckers.
Yes. So that's how the banks work lah.
Okay.
So compound interest works like the story of the rice I told you, but it also works in reverse of you. You know, the stories we hear of loan sharks.
Yes.
What kills the person who borrows loan shark money is compound interest, but work in reverse.
Could you say that again?
So okay, you know fixed deposit?
Yes.
You have money in fixed deposit?
Yes, I do.
So today it's about 2%, 1.75%.
Yes.
So it will grow 2% a year, and then the next year it won't grow, it won't be 2%, it'll be 2% on the 2%
So
2%
2.02.
The 2 or 2
of
on
the
top.
new one. So let's say you put 100 ringgit.
Ah.
So if you want to calculate a 2% growth, that means you
2 ringgit.
get 2 ringgit lah.
Ah.
But then the next year it will not be based on 100 ringgit already. It'll be based on 102. So you keep increasing that 2, it'll be
But
about,
fucking forever lah.
yeah lah. So there's this thing called a rule of 72.
I just watched that podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a very quick way to tell how fast your money will double.
Yes.
So
So
like
John was talking about it, right?
yes. So 70, let's say like 2% FD, 72 divided by 2, you get 36.
Yes.
That's the number of years it takes for your FD to double.
Oh, it's
So you all pay EPF.
Yes.
Yeah.
So EPF is about 5 to 6. Let's say it's 6 for simple math. EPF will double your money every 12 years.
Every 12 years. I thought it's 70.
72 divided by 6.
Oh,
Six,
oh.
So that's how it works.
See.
So when it works in reverse, is when you have to pay back lah.
That's why a lot of people
So that's
die.
why credit card 17%.
Oh my god.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
For credit card, they, I haven't get any interest. I pay on time. I know.
So it's fantastic that you pay on time. But for a
How
lot
long
of people, they
for?
don't.
Then they fucked up.
Your extra commitments, extra things you want to purchase, you want to do that whole easy pay Maybank thing, buy a big product and then slowly
Wait,
add lah.
Talking about credit card, right? Is it true that if you pay your credit card on time all the time, the bank will the chance of you getting a loan is
Yes.
Yeah, it's
You
credit score, right?
You will
Like,
improve your secret score.
Yeah, secret, yeah.
even if your credit card payment per month, let's say 500 only,
Yes.
still
It contributes.
Contributes.
Oh.
Yeah, the important. So what you're talking about is the importance of credit in an economy, right? For you as an agent in the economy, and you all might find it surprising, even if you had like $1 million in the bank, and you want to take a loan, but because you've never paid back a loan, the bank might not still give you.
because of the credit.
Which of course to me doesn't make sense. I got $1 million.
I got
in my
$1 million
bank.
bucks there.
Yeah,
What?
they still won't pay you. But another guy maybe only has 50K in the bank, but he consistently pay, let's say for 5-10 years, his credit card. And maybe he has a car loan which he pays on time all the time. The banks will take that into account. They will put it into their algorithm. Then they'll say, okay, good. You
It's
can-
basically they can trust you because you've been paying on
which
time.
is a
I don't necessarily know if I agree with that, but that's the system.
That's how it
no,
is.
but the reason why they prefer that is because how do banks make money? They make money by you borrowing money from them.
Not because you have money.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
So of course, logically, the person who has money is more what we call credit worthy. He can pay back
Yes.
the loan, but to the banks is if you don't loan me money, means you're not a viable customer. So
Better
you're
don't.
out of the picture.
I see.
But the guy who can barely make rent every month but pays his loan on time, I know is a good customer.
Because he can give me money.
Yes, that's how it
That's
works.
how it works, lah.
That's how it works.
Okay. So that's how the credit terms work, lah.
Dude,
Because-
I need to pause this and take a piss real badly.
Okay, cool man.
Huh?
I need to
Take a-
piss so bad.
Oh, pause.
It's not necessarily the best financial decision to pay off loans early.
Of course,
to
of
take
course.
a shorter loan tenure because there's opportunity cost in cash flow, right?
Yes.
You could be using that cash
For
for other
business.
purposes. Your return on investment in that sense should be higher. So
Just-
depends. I think there's a lot of context that needs to be dealt with.
The big factor for whether you should pay off your loan, in my view lah. So I'm not an advisor, but this is my version of rogue finance. Right?
Rogue finance.
Unstructured.
What are we?
rogue
Mission Impossible.
Unstructured pirate. Unstructured pirate. You know, kind of.
Pinoy finance.
No. This more like school of hard knocks kind of
School
looking
of
at
rock,
things, right? Is if whatever you're paying off the loan increases in value over time or not. So there's this idea in finance called good debt and bad debt.
Okay.
Bad day, you're never gonna get that shit back, man.
So I'll tell you what bad debt is. Number one are the worst. Cars.
Okay.
So when you take
Alone.
a loan, you are not just taking a loan, but you're taking a loan on an asset that
That
is
will
Depreciating over time.
Yes, depreciating over time. That's why I don't know if you are aware. Sometimes you can buy a car, and you want to sell it, you actually have to top up.
You have to top up.
You need to like make your car
Yeah.
big better,
Yeah.
fix this, fix that, so that it's actually in a resale
Oh,
position.
No.
No?
You gotta pay
Because
off
the
your
loan you take, let's say,
I thought we're talking the loan finish deal.
no. Let's say you take a loan of 50K lah. 50K lah.
What car is that, lah? Bro, Aston Martin.
It's a house with wheels. You know? so let's say you pay 50K on a 60K car, a 55K car, let's say, right? Then let's say because that car is so low in demand, the depreciation happens very fast.
Yes.
So let's say within the 5th year, the value of the car went from 55 to 20.
Okay.
in the future.
Very normal, but okay.
Right? But then the loan you paid off, you initially owe 50, right?
Yes.
Only drops at that point in time to 35.
Okay.
You need to top up. That's a 15.
So you
Yeah.
top up 10 and 15, no?
Yeah.
So it's very common one.
Wow.
Very common, especially those people buy
Mercedes, BM.
BM.
Yeah, BM depreciate.
No, lah, it's a continental car thing, but it's cultural context, so it depends on where you go for the.
So I always
Honda,
call a car essentially is a financial black hole.
That's bad, that.
That's bad debt. Most credit card debt is bad. Most.
Because it's the heavy 16-17%.
That and also because what do you buy with credit card usually?
I buy food,
So it's literally depreciates in one day. You shit it out after one day.
Yeah.
That's the asset.
Yes.
You see
No, but
the-
nutrients, it keeps me going.
Bro,
yeah lah.
bro, I don't know, man.
But
Correct.
you can't
shit.
resell your cannot
shit.
resell your
Yes.
food.
But that's the thing. For me, it's food
yeah.
and content. It's my YouTube.
Yes, so in your case, it's good. Now, back to the car one.
Yes.
It's good that when you're a Grab driver.
Yes.
Because you can make
You
use
can actually make a profit out of your.
So it's contextual lah. So for house, usually I would say it is good that,
Because it's property and asset.
but where is your house situated? That's another thing you have to consider.
Whether
Shalang.
market value is in your favor or
Of
not.
course.
Yes.
Time and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah, you should try to buy a house at PJ.
Yes. So if you have BJ, not so bad.
That's why. That's why your godfather SS2, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. That guy is champion of ROI, man.
I'm gonna survey houses at PJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in general, houses are
It's a
quite okay lah. But then there's also the extreme version of people who, and sometimes it's a psychological thing, right? Because what I realized about finance is that people think it's mathematical, but it's very psychological. That's why you can have people who know very little about finance, but the minute they die, suddenly, right, their children get 10 million inheritance. And you're like, huh?
That's exactly. Huh?
Oh wait, huh?
Have y'all been to Malacca Jonker Street?
No.
Yeah.
Have y'all eaten the chicken rice ball?
Yeah.
Do you know that he was hunted down by the tax officers
Okay.
for evading 2 million ringgit in taxes?
Because he don't pay for tax, is it? Like as a chicken rice ball seller.
So if he has avoided 2 million ringgit in taxes, that means that chicken rice store
Doing pretty well.
has made him 6 million plus.
Wow. That
Wait,
means
he didn't pay his tax.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why?
Oh, okay, so here's the rumor. The rumor is that the wife is from China. They go into a fallout, then the wife rat him out.
Oh.
That's the rumor. I don't know.
I don't know, bro.
But
Rumor has
it's
it.
fact that he was.
Evading taxes, right?
how does that translate to the inheritance of 10 million though?
So
How do you get
because
that?
these people, this chicken rice seller, know nothing about finance. He doesn't know about the math. Probably doesn't know about compound. The only thing he knows about compound interest is how many people eat chicken rice. How fast the word spread.
Yeah.
That in that way, it's compound
Very
interest
important.
also. So, and you get a lot of people who are very smart, who know finance, who worked in all the big banks, but then still get bankrupt. Why?
I think poor management.
For management, because it's not about the math, it's about the psychology. So a lot of people, so they have this idea of good debt, bad debt, right? So they somehow, because they're so smart, they've got degrees from Harvard, they will convince themselves that a lot of things that they buy on debt are good. So they buy the yacht, then they buy the cars. Oh,
Self-destruct right there.
look, I'm a salesman. I need to buy the Lambo so that people will,
Respect me.
So they will,
Self-justified.
they justify all this shit, right? And I can make enough money to pay off the interest.
Just take
But
the
then
loan,
when the music stops, there's no more chairs left.
That's it.
You're gone.
Wow.
So, but they know the math, what they know interest. They know.
I think they're just too smart for themselves sometimes.
Correct.
lah.
exactly.
Done.
I still don't know how this.
So
says like 10 million.
so for some people, they will actually pay off the loan faster because they have that natural psychological, like he was telling me about his credit card, the natural aversion to debt.
Okay.
Because Borge was telling me about how his mom asked him to buy an iPad through his credit card, even though he doesn't like credit card because he's scared he gets addicted. So even though Borge is not in finance, but you have that psychological component of being averted to that.
I see.
So that's why people are a lot closer to financial literacy than they think. It's just that, and back to the earlier conversation, the people who are from finance, to preserve their job, to preserve their income, they have to put all these layers of jargon so that they can justify their existence.
It's true though.
It's I'm only laughing because it's true.
Yeah.
And
to tell you the arrogance, right, of a lot of financial advisors is this. There was a this is very, actually I'm not going to name the name, but it's a very famous financial planner in Malaysia, pretty young, and he actually posted on Facebook this article by the Star, and the Star basically said that, you know, with coronavirus, we realized that Malaysia has a shortage of doctors. So then his caption on top is that, great article, Star, now do one for financial advisors, equating that financial advisors are doctors.
We are not doctors.
But they're not.
How are we doctors?
They're not. The people who always ask for financial advice usually have more money than the financial advisors. And that's why Warren Buffett, one of the best, actually the best investor of all time, he understood compound interest at age 7. And he was buying stocks at age 7. Okay?
It's a fucking monster.
What he
Those
doing?
guys know.
Hey,
I wasn't even a wanker at the age, you know.
Yeah.
Bro, what? 7? Sailor Moon, Doraemon.
Like, conversationally, I would say, hey, at the age I was a wanker. This one, I wasn't even a wanker yet, bro.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
So he said, he this famous quote, right? He said that Wall Street, right, the capital of
I
finance,
miss this quote. Okay, it's good.
you know this quote, right?
It's a good quote.
Is a place where people who drive Rolls Royce take advice from people who take the subway.
Huh. Never thought of it
Bro,
in that perspective.
it's true, bro.
It's why like that. The people who ask for financial advice have more money than the advisor.
To be fair, you shouldn't be driving in Wall Street, lah. The subway systems, they are very good.
Bro, you're not
In their justification.
okay.
But they have drivers, lah. These rich people.
Oh, don't care.
I'll still stick to Honda.
So that's why financial advisors.
That means I'm in a good spot in a way.
Yes.
Because I'm asking for advice.
Attaboy.
Yeah. It's a very, very insecure, very arrogant, very.
Do you come across some of these people sometimes?
Of course, sure. That's how
I
you
try
try.
to avoid. I avoid it like COVID.
So like sometimes maybe when you're giving advices, right, to some of your clients or viewers say, hey, you're wrong lah.
Okay, then say
Then you
why?
just-
I just feel like why? Like, and look, sometimes I am wrong. Because like I said, investing financial is evolving.
Yeah.
It's evolving.
You must.
And you the price of arrogance is too big lah in this view. It's too big. Because the stock market, the beauty of the stock market is that it doesn't care whether you're Indian or not. It doesn't care whether
Again, 1.3 billion, man. It's gonna
Yeah.
hit somehow.
Actually, I gotta ask. So let's say, you know, I
Yeah.
spoke to you about my dad, and I was saying how, like, when I started working, I wanted to start investing. Because I had a couple of friends who were investing. So they were doing like REIT, they were doing Air Asia and stuff like that.
Doing what before?
Read.
No, they were I just started working.
Yeah.
So I had a couple of friends who were investing.
Or REITs.
REITs.
Oh, okay.
And Air Asia and Ganny and stuff like that.
Right.
So I was having a conversation with that friend, and then he was saying you should invest as well, right? So I spoke to
Who's
my dad.
that lah?
I'll tell you later. I won't say on podcast. So I asked my dad. I was like, hey dad, I think I should start investing.
Right.
And he said you should just learn how to save first,
Yeah.
right? Which to me, I was like, maybe I was a young kid. I was 21 lah. But I was like, okay lor, I guess I'm a fucking moron lah. I shouldn't fucking listen. I mean, I should listen to my dad and just not invest. So I suppose my real question is, when do you think you are knowledgeable enough, or when do you think you're financially stable enough to start investing?
When you have enough money.
It's a very weird chicken and egg situation, because if you don't start, how are you gonna get the experience?
Okay.
And so the way I think about it is always this, right? It's actually a basic 3-step process. The first question for me is, okay, the making money portion. So the whole issue with so I coach clients, and you know, I've taught, I think, nearly 500 students, and one thing that pops up quite a bit is that they look at investing as a solution to their financial problems.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain problems, but they want that big quantum leap so that they can,
Yes.
because they think money will solve their problem, right? But their issue is actually not money. Their issue is mostly something else. So the first question I ask always is like, is the making money portion.
Can you make enough money?
Like when I met with Bradley from the coaching plan, one of the first questions I asked him is that when you invest this money, can you afford to lose all of it? Then his
Wow.
answer is yes,
Then,
because he's in a financially good place, right? So the first thing is the making money portion, like what. So you're a Japanophile, right? Right? You've heard of this word ikigai.
Yes, of course. Way of life. Yeah.
So ikigai.
Okay.
So you need to, there are 4 components to ikigai, which is like a meaning of life kind of thing.
It's like you have to be good at it. You
Good
have
at it,
to
use-
love it.
You have to love it, you have to make money, and useful to society.
Yes.
These 4 components. So ideally, you want to find 3 out of 4 lah. I mean, if you have to get rid of one, it's the good for society one lah.
not wrong. Not wrong.
No, you of course you want all 4, but you have to.
If you had to pick one,
to get rid of one.
Not wrong.
Go into oil and gas, something like that. So you want that because at the initial stages, I find in your wealth creation, especially the first 100K.
Okay.
The first 100K is the hardest, right? It's literally Charlie Munger, who is Warren Buffett's right hand man. He'll say the first 100K is a bitch. It's the hardest to get one. In fact, it's easier to go for 101K to 1 million. You'll be
Wow.
Because you already know the ropes, man.
because it's like Karate Kid.
1, 2, or 3.
Oh, no,
wash-
you know the
wax
jacket,
on, wax off.
the jacket,
Jacket
was it?
on,
The
jacket
jacket
on.
on, jacket
So
on.
the 0 to 100K is your jacket on, jacket off.
Ayo. And then after that, you're just a pro.
After you pro,
You
yeah.
done. Straight
After
after
you
you're
pro.
pro.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's
So-
also it's not a question of whether you pro or not, right? It's a
Yeah.
utilization of your 100K capital.
No, I think it's just you know how to miss.
Like I
manage
got
your-
I got like to share my experience, right? I had my first 100K. I took 4 years of like saving money, investing here and there, but I got my second 100K in a year.
Wow.
Because that 4 years just prep you to know what to do,
Yes.
I guess, right?
Correct. So the first one is the money. So we talk about compound interest. If you want to speed up compound interest, it's the money that
Really put in.
you need to make. You need to make money.
Oh, you mean
To pay
to,
back the
to put
compound.
in to make that 100K and then propel?
Yes. But before that, you first need to make money because eventually you need capital, right, to start.
Yes.
You can only get capital if you save money.
Yes.
And you can only save money if you make money.
Well,
Wow.
So that's the basic 3-step process, right? But people get it opposite. They want to invest to make money.
and that's how they lose money.
That's how they lose money. Correct. So if they start with making money, and they're good at their profession, maybe they're a good businessman or whatever, then you got the next set of problems. So a lot of people can't really get this one right, and even those that do can get things very wrong, because if you have you make so much money but you don't keep it, then it's nothing. In fact, I don't know, so you all know Rihanna, right?
Yeah.
So there's a
Yeah,
there's a-
I can't. I know. First name basis.
there's a okay.
Yeah.
Ella. Ella. Hey, okay, so anyway, she actually sued her financial advisor for not managing her money properly. Wow. Then the financial advisor in court, you know what he said? He said it's so simple. When you spend money, so we all know how much money Rihanna makes, right? Yeah. And
We all know.
we all know, right?
Yeah, down to the cents.
And so why is it she almost go broke, right?
She spent like $1.
Yeah, so the financial advisor just told the judge, he said that when you use the money to buy things, you end up with the things, not the money.
That tends to be the case here.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
So Rihanna is passionate about a job, she's good at a job, so she earns that huge amount. So she's got that down locked already. Now there's the second portion, which is the keeping part.
She
Wow.
don't keep. She just use.
So that's where perhaps your dad's coming from.
I see.
Because you're earning money already. Presumably you somewhat enjoy your job, right?
Presumably.
That's why your dad
Presumably.
asked you, can you
At
save
that
the
point in time,
money
the
or
answer
not?
was a flat no lah. But
So then
Who
that-
says
that's
you
why-
ended there?
that's why the saving money portion, you need to have like a basic idea of budgeting lah, and you need to be familiar with this concept called savings rate. It's how much of your money you save a month.
Sure.
Basically. And the basic math is this. If you save 17% of your income and you grow your wealth at 5% a year, so slightly under EPF, you retire in 40 years.
Yes,
What?
And by retire, I mean
This should be the
will-
thumbnail.
you don't need to work anymore for money.
You just relax.
You take 40
Save 17%, invest 5%.
No,
No,
you
no,
save
no.
the 70% and
your
then whatever
salary
you
grows by
invest and
5%.
grows by 5%.
Oh.
Okay? Then if it's 30%, that number drops to 28.
28 years.
28 years.
Wow.
If you go to 50%, then it becomes 16 years.
So we just retire at 16 years. What?
Yeah.
16 is what?
And
From
then
4?
at 75, 8 years. You can retire 8 years.
I'll stick with the 16 lah. 16 quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need but so you might think, 17, like, so some people say, yeah, 17 already very difficult, right? I need to have fun or whatever, need to save up for trips, anything lah.
Yeah.
That's why if that is what you're not willing to budge on, which is a higher savings rate, that's when you increase your rate of return. Because the assumption here is they are all growing at 5%.
Yeah.
If you, at 17%,
Yeah.
if you can grow that 5% to 15%, then you probably can get 16, 15 to 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are only two levels to move, right? In this situation.
Yeah.
It's just how much you save and what your return.
Yes.
Your rate of
And
return
how
is.
long you are compounding the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it takes. But before you move on investment, there's one very important step,
What?
which is insurance.
Insurance?
So what I was quite disappointed in the previous podcast was that they did not. I don't know whether they didn't know it or what, but they did not explain how insurance supposed to fit into your entire financial picture.
Wow.
And why is it? I don't know. But here's the role of insurance. The role of insurance is not an investment, it's not a savings plan, nothing. It's actually an income protection. So, when you make money, let's say you're good at making money, and then you're good at saving money. At that point in time, people are excited to jump into investing, really,
Yeah.
which is okay, it might work.
But you don't know what the fuck's gonna happen to you, bro.
Correct. So imagine, let's say you've got 50% savings, and you're damn good, right? You can save
50%.
5, 6K a month or more, right? Let's say. Right?
Okay.
Okay. But then suddenly you hit an emergency. So just as you're about to invest, or if you're already investing, suddenly you have to chop that
Yeah,
investment pot in half.
Hey, how lah? Then
20%.
how the insurance will protect?
So that's why you need your critical illness.
I see.
Ah.
The non-sexy thing they should sell to you.
Yes. So when you got a critical illness, usually you try to go for 3 years your annual salary. So the minute you get a CI, I don't now there's last time 36, now I think there's 41.
What's
or 42.
CI? Sorry.
Critical illness.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Critical illness.
The more you get critical illness.
The insurance really pay you 3 years of salary. So you use that salary to
Invest
pay for your bills lah, or whatever lah.
Yeah.
That
So
is
then
so
your
shit.
investment pot
Doesn't get
is
touched. Yeah.
untouched.
protected.
Yeah.
Even worse if your investment pot is not liquid enough. Then you're
Yeah.
just trapped with a fucking CI with no money.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Then
which
you just-
which then leads to the investment question. So before you go into stocks, then you have to say of all what we call an investment asset class, which one suits you the best at your age, at your condition.
Wow.
My argument is stocks. Because for several reasons. The first, we call it it has low barriers to entry. You can open an account for $10 and you can start with 100 ringgit.
Wow.
Of course, it won't give you much, but you can start with it.
At least there is that form of experience and understanding. Yeah.
Let's compare it with properties.
Okay.
If you want to start investing with properties, you need your 10% down payment plus the legal fees and
Yes,
all that,
which is mad.
which is 17 to 18% of the property value,
Yes.
which in Klang Valley, let's say the average
the
3 to 500,000, how to say 300,000, 17% of 300,000 is how many K? It is 55K.
stupid fees, man.
So you have to start with 55K. How long do you have to save before you have to start? Not only that, you have to manage tenants. You have
Another
to pay
hassle.
the cukai pintu,
Cukai tanah.
cukai tingkap, cukai ceiling,
All the
whatever
hidden
shit lah.
fees that
Yeah.
The maintenance.
Yes.
I thought the maintenance will be paid by
MRTA.
the
No. You have to pay for your maintenance,
tenants.
bro.
No, the
Yeah.
tenant just pay for rent, is it?
You
Only
should
rent.
bank it into your
No
rental
lah,
lah,
when the toilets get clogged.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
Yeah lah, as a landlord.
Fuck, I thought it's the.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought they would have to.
No. They just pay the rent, and whenever the light goes off, boss, your
Yeah.
light.
Yes.
So
Then you
it's
go in there and then you fix the
What
shit.
if they spoil the light? It's your problem.
I mean, it depends on the situation, but a lot of
Okay lah.
times they call the landlord lah.
Now, if you want to go a little bit deeper, then this way of property investing. So to avoid, one challenge is that the properties that can rent out as an investment are usually in the middle class to lower. Because they need the property. They can't afford to chow. But when you deal with people like that, it's harder. Collect rent, they give excuses.
Sure.
Then you might say, then I go to the higher end one. First of all, you can't even afford it. But let's assume magically you want you want Magnum, right? Then you manage to buy.
I hope so.
You want Magnum. Rent usually is only 50 to 60% of your mortgage.
Okay.
Basically, you don't cover the mortgage at all with rent.
Yes.
And you are renting from someone usually that has options.
They can.
He's rich.
Confirm.
If you don't like, he just probably is a corporate guy. He'll just tell his
Secretary?
No, not his secretary. His boss say, no, I don't really like the place. Then move on. That's it.
Your expat child. Really.
So you got all this challenge, right, for property. Now stocks have their challenges also, but you can start small. That's the thing.
I see. It's scale lah. It's scale.
Yes. So when you start small, then you get the second advantage, which is that you can continuously make controlled mistakes. Imagine you put in 1,000 ringgit. You can basically screw up 55 times and you only lose as much money as if you failed with your property. You can screw up 55 times, that means you put in 1,000 ringgit, it goes to zero,
That's
goes
like,
to zero, goes to
that's
zero.
like
goes to
having
zero.
55 lives in a game.
Yes,
Compared
correct.
to your fucking property lah, which is
Yeah,
one shot
shot.
KO.
It's almost like it. So, but then every mistake that you make, as long as you're not down when you make a mistake,
It's
you learn.
knowledge, man.
You learn. So by the time
You
do
at
that-
your 55, you
Wow, never saw it that way.
second reason, third reason, liquidity.
Oh my god, yeah, man.
Stock is
Bro, how lah you gonna liquidate?
Property is super fun. You want to go to a trip to Japan,
Yes.
and you're like,
you can't liquid your house, bro.
Yeah.
you want to sell your,
But you can
just
sell
your
your,
toilet?
but you can sell you,
Yeah, in Japan.
but you can
Sell
sell
the first
your
4 tiles outside my house.
Then maybe the one Terengganu. So liquidity with stocks, you just sell a portion.
I see.
So stocks are perfect for people young, and I would say even if you're in your 40s or 50s, to me.
Whenever.
So right now, we are 28, except Drew is 26, 25. Okay. Anyways.
He's 26.
Oh, you 26?
Yeah.
Fuck me, bro. Okay.
It only goes to show how much we know and how much.
No, well, you
I
guys.
only know the basis, bro. But this is actually, you know, right now I'm in that state where I'm in lecture hall. It's a 3 hours lecture, but after the first hour, you're just
You're disappointed in your life because you don't know so
I'm
much.
not disappointed. I'm learning so much. Then I'm just like
Initially, when I had that conversation,
I
with MJ,
can't absorb anymore. Already, you know, I'm at
Oh, is
that
it?
stage. I'm like,
Yo, I failed lah.
no, I just have a limited capacity. That's just me. I cannot sit.
In all honesty, when I was having that conversation with MJ at Hainan Joy, I was like, damn man, I'm a fucking moron, man.
Why?
But at least now I know I'm a moron lah, which now I can work on
Yeah.
lah.
We don't you feel bad while
First
you
step is always identifying the problem.
You see, a financial advisor would never say that.
100%.
what say that I'm a moron?
Yeah, would never say that.
I wouldn't say I'm a
When
moron,
he
bro.
is.
Yeah.
But he is.
Mm.
You're not a moron, bro.
No, he's not a financial advisor, but yes, I also agree. I am a moron in that sense. So I want to go back to that investment question, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if you were to put a number on it, because I know maybe sometimes people are very apprehensive, scared to invest.
Mm.
Okay, so there are a myriad of viewers out there. Could be teenager, could be 40, 50 old, like you said.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
When
is
is
there
the right
like a
time?
percent of income that, because you were saying you can save 70%, save etc., and then you can retire at 40 and so on and so
Mhm.
forth. If you were to put a number on it, like a percentage of your salary, is there a percentage of salary that you can choose? That is a very safe number, maybe for a person that would jump that hurdle. Because I know you were talking to me about Bursa,
Mm.
and you were saying how Bursa is actually encouraging a lot of Malaysians to invest.
Yeah.
Hence, they'll hire in that sense, your
In
partner,
the past,
your-
yeah.
to talk and educate people on this.
Correct.
So I think my question is perhaps, is there a safe amount or a percent that you
Your
can
savings rate, is it?
yes
Okay.
to invest of course.
To invest. So, before that, the process is this. I usually recommend, and this for myself also, is that when you save the money, right, your whatever savings rate, 5%, 25%,
Mm.
you need to work on building what we call an emergency fund.
Okay.
So usually
Fair.
the typical answer is 6 months of expenses Then if you're a bit more conservative, 6 months of income.
Okay.
Then if you're super conservative, you bring that 6 to a 12.
What the fuck?
Bro, that's
That one.
that is condom.
But a lot of Chinese businessmen, especially those old dogs, they will go up to even 3 years for their own
Of
business.
course.
Because
family, everything also
it's very business very volatile lah. But so if you have a secure job and all that, then you can afford to scale back. 6 is just it's just a basic number. Is the way I think about it is, let's say I get kicked out of the house. Let's say your dad decided, you know what, he didn't want to pay for the down payment, and then you have to take on another loan, right? Whatever. How long will it take for you to find a new job? Let's
Bounce
say
back,
how long it takes? So 6 months is usually
a good amount.
okay lah, right? Then also you measure lah how good you are. If you're really good, then if you're really confident, 3 months. And if you have proper insurance, you're covered for critical illness, TPD, and death, and medical card. Then you can even lower that even more. Like for example, my partner John, he has no savings, no FD. Everything goes into his stock portfolio.
What the fuck?
No
That one's
problem.
balls deep lah, that one.
Leave
Yeah,
line on
but
the
then
edge.
but then he's insured. His entire family, as a family of 4, is insured properly.
Wow.
So he just needs to pay, I think, 1,000. I think like 1,000 a month like that to cover the whole family. And then he doesn't need savings, because why do you need savings? Usually emergency, right? Emergency is what, when you fall sick lah or things like that, covered by insurance already. So you don't need. So that is an extreme, because people from Shell are extreme, right?
10 years in.
That's why they can work.
Oh, sorry.
Just continue.
Okay. So your question was how much the right saving. So actually the first thing you need to do is to build the emergency fund,
Yes.
right? Depends on your circumstance. Then after you build that, then only you start channeling a lot of your savings, or all of your savings, into investing. And before that, it needs to be the first thing you do, not the
That's
last.
the first.
Oh.
So the standard procedure is I get income. So I'll pay my mortgage, I'll pay my car loan,
Yes.
then after that petrol,
Yes.
Then only saving.
then food, then whatever's left in the month, then I take that.
Invest.
So you should actually put it to saving first, and then
Correct. Because your the way you structure your budget tells me
Your priorities.
what your priorities are. So if your savings is last, then it's last. So don't expect
Wow.
when you do this that you have low savings. Then because you have prioritized it.
It makes sense. When I used to start saving up for Japan, it's always I take the money out first. But then when I'm not saving up for Japan, I don't use. Then I
It
just
always work, right? Has
Yes,
it ever failed?
always work. Always
correct.
work.
Same thing. So you need to focus on your emergency fund first, and then channel that into your investments. So back to your question is how much is the amount? So the process I derived this number is this. In Malaysia, the average savings rate is 23%,
wow.
but
Oh man.
it's average.
it's
That means whatever made the average could be very high or very
It's
low.
the skew, because it's all the rich Chinese
yes.
businessmen and whoever to skew it. So it's a lot lower than that. So I would say if you can do like 23 or 25%,
It's fucking.
It's good already.
It's good already.
you're good already.
I would assume the median to be somewhere like 10, maybe 15%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So if you can hit that target, it's like
25.
amazing really lah. But of course it depends on your goals lah. If you're like one of those people who are like obsessed with net worth, then you know the answer lah. It's not 25% lah. It's higher than that. It's increasing income like mad, saving like mad, investing like mad. And these are the people that end up becoming like Warren Buffett lah, worth 90 billion.
Just to be clear, so it's 25% you would invest in after you have saved 25% of your income until you reach like, let's say, a stable amount or whatever, 6 months, use 25% until you reach like 6 months security. Then after that, on forward, it's 25% you should be pouring into investment now. Of course, that is
But
the average.
does
and
this formula appeal for everyone, or it depends on certain?
Obviously it won't appeal to everyone. Different people got different situations. Like for example,
priorities.
let's take the saddest situation possible, right? Maybe you've got a sick mother that only you can pay. Then obviously your it wouldn't apply to you, lor. Then
100%.
then you have a different strategy, because then savings is not your game plan already. You cannot save.
It's survival
anymore.
rate at that point.
At that point is you go increase income,
Yes.
or you have to start a business to in a way go for broke, or things like that. So that's hypothetical. It's a sad hypothetical. It's a real situation, but it's not common lah. So for most people, if you can hit 25%, is extremely amazing. And if you have a spouse who can do the same.
Wow.
So I tell you this story, right? I have a friend in Singapore. He's in JB, but his office, his business Singapore based, right? And he's 36 this year. He started work 23. Started with very little money, pinjam from the dad. But he started investing in stocks. He knew the power of stocks. Then his wife actually earned more than him because she was an auditor. And what they did was they would allocate a certain amount, let's call it 30-40% a month, sometimes more, into this common investment pot. And today at 36, they have a combined investment pot of, last check, which was pre-COVID, about 5 million ringgit. So COVID, the stock investment portfolio will have gone up, so it's more than 5 million ringgit already.
Wow.
And that is with 3 kids and a bungalow in
Well,
Johor.
they did really
Wow.
good investment then, man.
Hey, actually, sorry, 4 kids. Just give birth to
Why stop now, man?
Huh?
Why stop now, right?
Yeah.
Financially.
You got 5 million, you can make 9 more kids, bro.
Football team, right?
Football
The substitute also all
team. Yeah.
included.
Why Singapore, man? You got your own team, big.
Wealth
Wow.
United, you know.
Well, United, make
Yeah.
nice.
I fucking hate to end the podcast because I don't want the battery to run out
Yeah,
halfway
yeah.
midpoint.
But we're gonna.
Right. We will definitely want you back on
We
the
can
podcast.
actually do a part 2, you know.
We will definitely do a part
Yeah,
2
yeah.
one day, but I want to end off
Sure,
Part
sure.
2
with like a sign off of sorts. So if you were to have any form of advice, and this only because we are fucking poor, we don't have enough batteries, okay? But we will
Okay.
soon improve one day.
So
But-
we need more sponsors.
Yes,
Yes, we need more
definitely.
sponsors.
But I want to ask if you were to give a form of advice to
Yeah.
people out there who are actually keen on investing or actually are
or
apprehensive-
currently investing,
or
also,
currently,
you know.
as a whole, what advice would you give?
So there's 2 messages. People who are keen on investing. Understand that investing, before you reach investing, there are things you have to do beforehand. So the 3 basic things is to find your ikigai, to learn to save money, hopefully 25% and up, and to get proper insurance to protect that savings. Then you're ready to start. Then for those who are already there, and there are many who are there, who are already interested in investing, or already starting to invest. If you're not there, then just repeat what I
Oh, okay.
what I said.
Okay.
But if you're already there, you're going to start learning how to invest. You have to take it slow, but you have to start. Spend time learning about it, which maybe in the next podcast we can talk about
For
some
sure.
of the basics of investing in stocks. You know, learn about the different asset classes, right? Property stocks, crypto, business, business, whatever lah. Gold, and then find what
Is your part of your ikigai maybe?
suits you the best,
Face mask.
and then learn from the best and move on from there. But knowing that you must maintain the first 2 things.
First
You
2
must
rules.
get something that you like and save money and insurance. And if you do your investing well, eventually you don't need your job. Then
Wow.
it will just be investing only, because then the investment returns will trump your income. Then you just save, and then it just rolls and rolls and rolls, and that's why
Wow.
the Scrooge McDucks in this
So how,
world.
how do an individual? I mean, this is. I don't
So
know.
few
I'm
people
not
would
sure
understand.
if it's
Yeah.
a. I know we're supposed to end, but I just want to throw in one last
Sure.
question. Yeah.
Can
I mean, so like say for an individual, like for us, right? We are trying. We want
Yeah,
to
yeah,
venture
yeah,
anything. So, how do we know what is a good investment?
Mm.
I mean, like we wouldn't know. We have to analyze the
To learn, you have to read.
the curve and everything,
Uh,
or what?
okay, that's one whole topic.
Shit.
But
I thought
the
was-
brief the brief answer is this: you have to understand what you invest in.
Oh,
You actually have to know what is it.
okay.
What affects the market?
So it's
and
like-
everything.
Because actually,
Face mask.
there's a famous quote, right? Yeah, there's a million ways to make $1 million. You can make money in MLM. You can make money scamming people. Jolo knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing, right? So it's a form of investment, right? His network and things like that, sovereign wealth funds. So if you're in stocks, you need to know what stock you buy. What is it? You need to know the business, not inside out, but you need to know the economics behind it. Same with a house. Same if you own a business is also a form of investment. If you buy gold, all that, you just have to understand it. Then from there, you will answer your question.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Any last words? You want to shout out your?
Yeah, you can follow me at MJ Ganny Instagram or at firer.co, where most of the content come out. And,
FIRL.co
yeah.
on Instagram, right?
and part 2?
Yeah, of course.
Part 2, hands down.
Part 2.
Part two.
No doubt.
Or 2. Okay.
It's only been a super
2
course
hours.
of interaction at this point. Thank you so much, MJ.
Alright.
Dinner time, man.
Yeah, man. Alright, thank you everyone for listening to me talk. So long.